A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
You are alone on a desert island with a tribe of hungry cannibals who think you are a god. A tribe of natives who would eat you rather than let you escape. Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson and designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight we escape to the South Seas and a cannibal kingdom in H.G. Wells' famous story, Jimmy Goggles, the God. I doubt you'll remember anything of the Ocean Pioneer, though a bit of the story that came to public knowledge made headlines in the newspapers at the time. Blimey, now that I think of it, it's been over 40 years ago it happened. 40 years. And at times yet I can still wake up in the middle of the night and see that cold, dead eye of Jimmy Goggles staring at me from the darkness. That gives me the creeps even now. It all started the night the Ocean Pioneer went to the bottom of the Sonner coast. Only two survivors, aside from myself, came out of that wreck. Mr. Sanders, the first mate, and a seaman named Jacob. And with a bit of luck, we had enough food and water in the longboat to see us safe to Papua.
Give away, lads. 3 nights will put us on dry land again.
Aye, it's lucky men we are this time.
All right, just one's our time here, Jacob. As it were for Captain Wells and 10 of the lads back there.
Lying under 20 fathom of blinking green water they are.
Ain't all that's laying back there either, lads.
You meaning something by that, Mr. Saunders?
Does either of you lads know the cargo we carried?
Aye. Copra mostly and some spices.
Not that. Lads, at Guinea we shipped aboard a chest full of gold dust. Worth 40,000 pounds.
40,000
pounds?
I wondered about that chest at the time, Mr. Saunders.
That chest still back there, lad. In Captain Wells' cabin.
Aye. 20 fathoms down. That'll be a nice bit of work for the salvage company.
Not necessarily, eh?
What is it you're meaning to say?
I'm the only man alive knows ship's position when she sunk.
So you are. Go on, Mr. Saunders.
Suppose now, when we get to Papua, we give report ship struck 100 miles or so to the north. Then the salvage ship goes there, we come here, and pick up a type of fortune for ourselves.
And how do we come here?
My brother-in-law has a brig in the Sydney trade. He'll come in with us. Well, lad, are you in or are you out?
40,000 pounds. I'm in.
Aye, 40,000 pounds. A bloomin' fortune there for the taking. Of course we went in on it. Back in Papua, Saunders made the arrangements with his brother-in-law, Captain Ferguson. And a fortnight later, we set forth in the brig Pride of Banya. There were just the 4 of us in the diving suit. It was one of them kind of diving suits that don't have a pump or airline. Carried its own tank of compressed air attached so you could walk around on the bottom independent-like. We hung the suit on the wall in a mess room, and believe me, it was some bright times we enjoyed besides it during the 3 weeks the Pride of Banya beat in towards Sonner Channel. We'd wonder how long it'd be before we'd get there, and what the salvage ship might be finding 100 miles away from the wreck. And all the time acting like we hadn't a care in the world. And that confounded diving suit would sway back and forth like a regular human being, it would. And the glass window in the front staring like a big eye in the middle of its fat copper head. We got so we'd talk to it like it was somebody, and we even give it a name. Jimmy Goggles, we called it. Jimmy Goggles. And every time we'd break open some rum, we'd pour a glass or so into Jimmy Goggles. So by the time we got to Sonner, instead of smelling rubbery, his inside was as sweet as a cask of rum. When we found the place, we was afraid to take the brig into the rocks where the wreck was lying. So we anchored about half-mile off, and all of us rowed to it in the longboat.
Aye. It's still there, all right. I can see the tip of one of our masts above the water.
Devil take the mast. It's the fortune below I'm interested in.
Oh, fear. It'll be there, lad. There to the port a bit.
Hey, is it still agreed that I'm the one to go inside Jimmy Goggles to make the first trip down?
Aye, George. It's what we decided. Easy now. Nigh on to her.
I can't say I envy you none, George.
Back the oars now. Easy. There, got a line around the mast. Keep us from drifting. Better get into that diving suit, George.
Right away, Captain Ferguson.
Aye. Just as happy it ain't me that's going down.
Huh?
Yes.
Why not take it?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
It'll be cold and dark down there at 20 fathom. Might be sights that ain't good for a man to see. In the dark and alone.
Jacob, you wander on like an old woman. I reckon the look of 40,000 pounds will cure a heap of other sights.
I'm ready, sir. Except to secure the faceplate.
Good. You know how to operate the valve?
Aye, sir.
And turn on the air.
George, you'll find the chest in Captain's cabin. Move it if you can, or see about the chances of getting a line on it.
Right, Joe.
And good luck.
Aye, good luck.
Good luck.
Well, cheerio, lads. I closed the little glass window in my helmet and fastened it. Then I edged toward the stern. Saunders was saying something, but I couldn't make out what it was. We didn't have no ladder, so I slid over the stern and hung there by the gunwale for a minute with the helmet out of the water. I took a last look at the light of day, and I let go. Slow it was. I sunk down through that green water. And the only sound was the air bubbling out of the helmet valve. That valve, you understand, was the only way you had of controlling the descent of old Jimmy Goggles. You opened it up, down you'd go. If you clamped it fairly tight, the chute would get full of air, and up you'd pop as fast as a man would care to. Full 5 minutes or more it took to sink that 20 fathoms. Them ghostly sea ferns went slithering past like snakes, and big purple and red clumps of jagged coral. And the light from the surface getting dimmer and dimmer. So as by the time I hit bottom, it was pretty near dark. I was happy to find myself come right down on the deck of the old Ocean Pioneer. And a familiar sight she was, saving for the crabs skittering around her plank, the bloomin' fish swimming past my head and goggling in through the window of my helmet. I made my way to the deck cabin. Right before the door, I stumbled onto a blinking skeleton, lying there on the deck as peaceful as you please. Judging by the gold braid still hanging on it, it had been old Captain Wells himself. So there weren't enough left of it now to make a decent meal for an hungry guppy. Bobbed around like very gentle when I touched it, and all the time was wearing an horrible grin on its bony face. Like to give a man the shivers. I tell you certain I got through the business down there as quick as I could. Found the chest of gold and figured out the best way to get a blocking line on it. But even so, it must have been an half hour before I clamped the air valve and started for the top. Halfway up, something hit my helmet and slid on down past. I found myself looking right into the blooming face of First Mate Saunders. His mouth was hanging open, and a kind of pink smoke was drifting out of it and making a cloud in the water. I saw he had a spear run through his neck from one side to the other, and he was dead on the mackerel. He sunk on past out of sight. And then Jacobs drifted down from above. And I could see his head was all twisted to one side like and his neck was broken. He was dead, too. Then it hit me. The lads on top had been massacred by a boatload of them bloomin' heathen savages. And like as not, if I poked my head out, the same would happen to me. Oh, blimey. I cracked open the helmet valve and shot down toward the bottom. I sat down there on a sunken rock for nigh on to 15 minutes, I guess, trying to figure out what to do. But any way a man would look at it, there weren't but one answer. So finally, crazy as it seemed, I got up and started out to walk ashore. After a while, the bottom began to slope up and it wasn't so dark anymore. Finally, my helmet poked up out of the water. I saw the beach about 50 yards away with dark jungle right behind it. I sloshed on through the water and came out on the sand. Then I opened the faceplate in Jimmy Goggles' head and cut off the air from the tank and took a deep breath of the natural kind. That's when I saw them. At least 100 blinking savages painted up like banshees. It stepped out of the brush and started moving toward me, slow, beating soft on a couple of drums and growling low and evil-like. Well, George Herbert, you're in for it now, I tells myself. Half a mile of underwater walking and you're still forgetting your bloomin' throat cut. I snapped the faceplate partway shut and cracked the air valve a bit. The diving suit swelled up like a blessed frog. And I started walking toward them. When I got close, they moved back along two sides of a kind of path, and I walked right down the middle of it. It led back into the jungle, and pretty quick we come out in a little clearing with the grass up, standing in the middle of it. And sitting in front of the hut was an heathen idol, carved out in koa wood. Was grinning about as hideous as you ever hoped to see. And the idea hit me. I was in a spot. It couldn't be much worse, and maybe it would work. The natives seemed to be awed by Jimmy Goggles already. So I reached out and gave the idol a great push, expecting any second to feel a spear through my gullet. I looked up. Blimey, if them heathens weren't down on their faces, worshipping like mad. It had worked. Oh, not me, you understand. Except in the manner of speaking. It was Jimmy Goggles with his copper head and his one glass eye, with me inside him. They'd seen him walk up out in the sea, and they figured he was a god. Old rum-soaked Jimmy Goggles. A regular bloomin' god. After a while, it began to get on my nerves, so I went inside the hut. They stayed outside and didn't follow me, but they didn't go away, neither. In a couple of hours, it started to get dark, and I was wondering if they meant to spend the rest of their lives out there bowing on the ground. Finally, a tall native, painted up like a circus clown, stepped inside the door and stood there, just grinning like old Satan himself. Blimey, if I had me a pistol, my beauty, I'd have you grinning on the other side of your face.
Oh, would you now?
Huh? What?
You're speaking mighty bold for a man who's had a lot of luck.
Depart, unworthy mortal, for I smite you with light.
Oh, relax, one. I've been some time around plantations in Papua. Learned thing or two I did, including English language.
Jumping, Christopher. What the devil are you doing here?
Taking advantage my simple bedroom. Something else I learned at Papua. My name, Mamala. I'm high priest, witch doctor. Call it whatever you want.
Oh, I'm happy to know you. Mine's George Herbert, officer of the English brig Pride of Banyan.
The late brig, you might say. Boys burned it a couple hours ago.
Burned it? What for? Aye. Why was it you attacked us in the first place?
Oh, a bit of go like that once in a while keeps boys feeling joyful like, George. It's harmless in manner of speaking.
Harmless, is it? That's for my boys at once.
Oh, well. What were you diving for out there, anyhow?
Pearls.
So it's now, mate. You are looking over that wreck down there on the reef. What's aboard her?
All right, Mamela. She was carrying 40,000 pounds in gold dust.
40,000 pounds? No fair it is.
Aye.
We could use 40,000 pounds, couldn't we, George?
I'm listening.
We might make deal. You keep on being the god, and I be your high priest. You can't talk their language anyway. Between us, we'll have him eating out of our hands. Meanwhile, we'll figure a way to raise gold off the bottom.
Hold off. You mean I gotta go on wearing this bloomin' suit all the time?
Only if you want to stay alive. They found there was man inside it. I tear you to pieces.
Oh, me, it ain't all it's cracked up to be being a god.
At least you're alive, mate. And we'll both be rich.
Aye. Are they gonna spend the night out there?
We'll be leaving after ceremony, except for guards of honor.
I understand you. What's the ceremony?
Oh, a little piece of business with owner of brig. We captured him alive, you know.
Captain Ferguson? What kind of business?
A bit of this, a bit of that. When they get done, they cook him, of course.
Cook him?
Well, now, you wouldn't expect boys to eat him raw. Wouldn't be civilized, you know. See you in the morning, George.
Oh, it was pretty horrible, all right. But what with one thing and another, I didn't feel as bad about it as I might have. After all, I hadn't known the captain too well anyhow. Nearly a month went by in mighty uncomfortable fashion. And all the time, Mamela was trying to figure some way to get that gold out of the wreck. I was right in with him at first. Then I got to noticing how he was always saying what he could do with 40,000 pounds. And then I'd kind of remind him we was apples, and he'd grin, strange-like, and see, that's what he meant all the time. But I didn't trust him no wise. And I started stalling every way I could, and things stayed about as they were. I kept on being a god, and we couldn't get no proper chance to go after the gold. Then one morning, Mamela and most of the tribe went back into the jungle to hunt. I was sitting in the hut trying to think of some way to do for that heathen before he could do for me, when I happened to hear voices outside. I sneaked a look through the palm's edge. It was an Englishman, dressed up fit to kill in white canvas shorts and a sun helmet and all. He had a native interpreter all dressed up and walking with him.
They're idols. Tribal gods. But it's been turned over. Do they no longer worship that thing? Master,
Looky here, gents. If you step inside, I'll show you what they're worshipping.
Hey, now.
Come in, come in. Welcome, gents.
Stop that heated chattering. I taught you better.
Oh, now take it easy, lad. Nothing but a diving suit, you know.
Yes, of course. I saw that. Who are you, anyway?
Yeah, no, let's not be asking names, seeing as I didn't ask yours.
There's no objection to telling you, sir. It's Bender. I'm with the Royal Anglico-Baphuan Missionary Society.
No, not really.
Please, no profanity.
Might be a slip. How'd you get here?
By sailing cutter, down coast from the Bankeel Residency.
Well, you've had a bit of luck. If the boys was here, you'd be in a proper fix by now.
Oh, I dare say we'd be in no danger.
No danger, huh? What is it you'd call being cooked like a pork tenderloin? Have they done it to one of my friends?
An adventurer, no doubt. But the natives are well aware that if anything happened to me, there'd be a gunboat here from the Residency in 48 hours.
Oh, that's how the wind blows, is it?
It is indeed. And may I ask why you're masquerading in that diving rig?
Aye. To keep from getting myself killed, that's why. The natives think this blinking rubber union suits a regular god.
I see. And you've been preying on their childish credulity.
Childish it may be, Mr. Bender, but they've got full-grown teeth. Oh, and I've seen them in action.
Well, you simply have to take your chances, because I'm going to expose you.
You know, you can't be doing that. Well, if they was to find out I was a human being, they'd do me in for fair.
Well, I'll help you as much as I can, but you should have thought of that before you tried exploiting them.
But you can't let it happen to a fellow Englishman.
Then why don't you leave now while they're away? You'd likely be able to get aboard the ship that's working a mile or so down the coast.
What ship?
Some salvage vessel looking for a wreck. They think it might have drifted down the channel from the north.
Oh, it just might have it there. They might find it. Mr. Bender, I'll make a proposition.
I won't promise anything, but I'll listen.
Leave here now and sail down the coastaways and stay till nightfall. Then come back as soon as it's dark, and I'll let you expose me to your heart's content. In fact, you might say, Mr. Bender, I'll even welcome it. Weren't nothing else to do. That salvage ship found who I was, I'd be in it for good. They'd know by now that we'd filed a false report about the position of the wreck, so we could get the girls for ourselves. They'd put me in the brig for sure. And if I tried to leave with Bender, he'd turn me into the first British resident we come across. I had no chance at all at the 40,000. And if I stayed here, like as not, I'd end up parceled amongst 100 heathen stomachs. But I had one chance of showing that blinking mammal as how he weren't the only one that knew a thing or two. I finally talked Bender into leaving, and about dusk, Mamela and the boys came back.
Understand that nosy man, Bender, was snooping around here this afternoon, George. You know anything about it?
Bender, eh? Oh, that's who it was. I saw him prowling around the clearing, but he didn't come inside the hut. I'd have given him what for if he had.
It's a good thing he didn't. It's a blasted nuisance, always interfering with established customs of the people.
Like witch doctors, eh, Mamela?
Gods too, George. He'd do for you quick and he would be.
Why don't the boys just eat it?
No. That would be too dangerous. He'd be missed and they'd send gunboats.
Not still around here somewhere, is he?
No. Women say he sailed on south.
Good. I'd just as leave not meet him face to face.
It was for him with that face you're wearing.
Aye, and I'm nigh on to being fed up with wearing it. Mamela and me, aren't he? I'll make you a proposition.
Mm-hmm. What kind of proposition, George?
Why don't you take over being God?
And what would you be doing if that happened?
Oh, leave me some food and water in one of the boats, and as soon as it's dark, I'll cut and run for it. It'll be easy for you to get the gold that way. Aye. And you can have the old 40,000.
Your generosity embarrasses me, George.
Anyways, supposing I was up and died sudden like, how'd you explain my body to the boys?
I have been thinking about that, but I hadn't figured it out yet.
I was wondering if you hadn't been.
You know a thing or two, don't you, George?
Enough to know you weren't going to share with me unless you had to.
Frankly, you're right. This may be best way. I'd have my little brethren right under my thumb. You out of my way with no need for explanation. All right, George. I'll keep the boys away from the clearing so you can make your break. Both be ready in half hour. Good luck.
It's working out just as nice as you please. I made my break all right, but I wasn't heading for any boat. No, sir, not me. Leastwise, not yet. I hid myself in the jungle at the edge of the clearing. Then I waited. After a while, them savages started drifting back into the clearing, and pretty soon Mamela, all dressed up in Jimmy goggles, came out and sat in front of the hut, the way I'd been doing every night. And the bloomin' heathens started in bowing down, all just as usual. I waited a long time before I finally heard it. A commotion starting over at the far edge of the clearing and coming closer. It was Bender and his boy Friday, walking through the crowd to where Jimmy Goggles sat with Mamela inside him. The crowd moved aside and let him pass, but you could tell they were just waiting for that one-eyed god of theirs to knock him stone dead. He stopped in front of the hut.
All right, I'm back. Suppose you carry out your part of the bargain and take off that... Get out, you fool! I didn't really believe you were honest. All right, Thomas. Tell the natives this is nothing but a man dressed up.
Hey, Connie!
Blimey, Bender didn't jump onto Mamela and start turning at the front of the diving chute. And all the time that heathen witch doctor kept trying to fight him off. And it seemed as though Mamela hadn't known how to fasten the helmet properly, because suddenly it tipped back on his shoulders, and there he was. A face them savages knew as well as their own offspring. And they didn't like it even one little bit. Aye. They'd been taken in by one of their hometown boys, so to speak, and they weren't for having any. They didn't harm Bender none, but they shoved him off to one side. They made one grand rush from Memphis. And they got it. And blimey, what happened then wasn't downright uncivil. I cut and run for it and tumbled into that boat and shoved off. I couldn't help but feel a bit sorry for old Mamela, though it wasn't as if he hadn't eaten his own share of human beings. And of course, he certainly wasn't a man who could be trusted at all. Well, it was a long time after before I heard how Mr. Bender made out. Seems as though he couldn't get them bloomin' heathens to listen to him at all. Then one day he hit on the idea of climbing into that diving chute. And from then on he had a crowd around every time he'd open his mouth. As far as I know, old Jimmy Goggles may still be down there somewhere. With his battered copper head, and his rummy smell, and his one glass eye. He may still be doing business. Right down there at the same old stand.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are a passenger aboard a submarine, making its last peaceful voyage across the sea. While unknown to you, the captain has a plan, which, if it succeeds, will mean for you and the entire crew a fate from which there can be no escape.
So listen now as Escape brings you Mary Ann Mosner and Francis Rosenwald's exciting story, The Log.
When I was a cub reporter, my boss told me, be there. Don't let your own emotions color your story. Stick to the facts. So these are the facts. This is the way it happened. I met Captain Jan Zabatos in a Scandinavian port. During the last war, he'd been in command of a submarine, the only sub of a nation that fought the dictators side by side with the Allies. When he was finally forced into this neutral port, the captain preferred internment to surrender. After that, his nation went out of the business of being a nation. He was left behind with his ship, unwanted by the Allies, and a burden to the government that had become his permanent host. To pay for the vessel's berth and maintenance, the authorities turned her into a tourist's exhibit, permitting her skipper to stay aboard as caretaker and tourist guide. We met during one of those guided tours.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the tour of the SS Seagull, a great ship with a peerless war record. It was my honor and privilege to guide her across hostile waters as master of this man-of-war that gave battle to the last torpedo. Thank you. No, thank you. You're very welcome all, and this way if you please.
You've got a few minutes, Captain? I'm Bill Rawlins, New York Globe. I enjoyed your tour a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Rawlins. Always glad to talk to gentlemen of the press. I presume you would like to write a story on the Seagull?
Well, to be honest about it, sir, I'd rather write about her skipper.
I am honored, but without the Seagull, you won't have much of a story. She and I are comrades in arms.
The war has been over a long time, Captain.
Yes, of course.
Haven't you ever thought of going home?
Mr. Rawlins, this is my home, and always will be.
As we walked across the deck, the Seagull came to life the way her skipper talked about her exploits at sea. And I saw 1,500 tons of steel that had never faltered, never failed. I was busy taking notes when the man came up the gangplank, stocky, brisk, dressed in a natty gray suit, a briefcase under his arm.
How do, gentlemen? Where do I find the man in charge?
I'm in command of the Seagull, Captain Jan Zabatos. What can I do for you?
The name's Andrews. Here's my card. I represent the Liverpool office of the Marine Salvage and Surplus Corporation. You mind if I look around?
The next tour of the Seagull commences at 16 o'clock.
That's fine. You go right ahead. I know my way around ships. Bought and sold them all my life. This is my first time.
I'm afraid you must be mistaken, sir. The Seagull is not for sale.
Not anymore. My company just bought her. I closed the deal yesterday.
Look, this can't be. Nobody has authority to sell my ship.
The government has, according to international law. This isn't your ship anymore, Captain. Now, do you realize what it costs this country to keep her docked here?
I suppose I knew that this was going to happen. Excuse me, sir, what does your company plan to do with the Seagull?
Scrap her. What else is she good for?
Yes, of course. What else is... You plan to break her up here?
No, we'll have to tow her across to Liverpool.
Mr. Andrews, the Seagull is perfectly capable to sail under her own power.
All the way across the North Sea? No. It must be pretty rusty by now.
My ship is in as good condition as she was 10 years ago when we put in this port.
I know how you feel, Skipper, but if you don't mind, I'd rather play it safe.
No, I don't think I made myself clear, sir. This ship has had the finest maintenance that you find aboard any vessel. I have seen to that myself. Would you care to go below and look about, sir?
Sure, why not?
Then if you will follow me. Rust and corrosion, I understand.
She was a beauty, all right. Her diesels reposing in gleaming silence. Her eye, a Zeiss periscope, set to scan the horizon. Her tubes ready for torpedoes. I felt a strange affinity toward this ship that to Andrews meant just so many tons of metal to be turned into X amount of dollars, while to her captain she was a whole world of tradition. A world now coming to an end.
Until I suppose you think that the Seagull should be dismantled and scrapped?
Well, I'm afraid that's what we bought her for.
Then may I respectfully make a last request on her behalf?
I'll be happy to oblige if it's anything reasonable.
Don't tow her away like a crippled ship. Let me guide her on this last journey. All we need is 1 week, a skeleton crew. My services are free.
I don't know. All right. I'll tell you what, Skipper. I'll check with my company and get in touch with you.
Well, that sounds like a good idea to me, Andrews. You'd be saving your company quite a bit of money.
My firm's allergic to taking chances.
You don't take chances with the Seagull.
The cold logic of the dollar in the bank, not the captain's last request, persuaded the scrap middleman to take a well-calculated risk on the Seagull and her master. Mr. Andrews was to accompany the ship on her final journey. I requested and was granted permission to go along and cover the voyage for my paper. It was a gray, overcast morning when we boarded the Seagull. She was straining gently at her anchors with the last of the ebb tide.
Well, Skipper hired a decent cook. Nothing like sea air to give a man an appetite.
I'm not looking forward to a picnic, Mr. Andrews. All I want is a story.
You won't find it in this barge, Rawlins. But I can give you plenty of stories. My company isn't averse to publicity.
When we reached the bridge, we found a changed man. Captain Jan Zabatos, commander of the submarine Seagull, wearing a freshly creased uniform, windbreaker, and his well-worn battle cap.
Anchor secure, sir.
All engines back aft.
All engines back aft, sir.
Course 005.
005, sir.
Port engine back 2/3. Starboard engine ahead, standard.
Port engine back 2/3. Starboard engine ahead, standard, sir.
Stand by, all hands.
Standing by, sir.
Now. Well, gentlemen, we are off.
Chilly this morning, Skipper.
Perfect weather.
Makes you hungry anyway. What time do we...
Breakfast will be served in my quarters in 10 minutes, Mr. Andrews.
Come on down, Rawlins. Let's get some chow.
We had breakfast. It was better than Andrews had expected. And he was in an expansive mood when we returned to the bridge. He'd fortified himself with a thick cigar which stuck out of his mouth like a stubby finger pointed at the captain.
How's it going, Skipper?
Passing the 3-mile zone, sir.
Weather seems to be clearing up. Maybe we can do a little deep-sea fishing, huh, Rollins?
I've never fished from a submarine, Mr. Andrews.
Sorry, gentlemen. No fishing. This is not a pleasure cruise.
That's the step, Skipper. Business before pleasure.
And I agree, sir. You will leave the bridge now.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing, sir. We are getting ready to submerge.
What are you talking about? Submerge? On whose orders?
My orders, Mr. Andrews.
Nothing doing. That's against regulations, and you know it. This trip is to be made on the surface unless there's an emergency.
Clear diving rudders.
Diving rudders clear, sir.
Did you hear what I said?
Ready the tanks.
Tanks standing by, sir.
That's enough, Zabatos. You know what the orders are. I'm not going to allow you...
I must inform you, sir, that I am in sole command of the Seagull. I shall surrender her to no one but her rightful owner, my country.
Your country? You've got no country. It's a satellite.
Then I shall sail the seas until I have one again.
You know what you're saying? That's piracy.
Then, Mr. Andrews, I shall be a pirate, shan't I? Clear the deck. Diving stations.
Diving stations.
Out of your mind.
Passengers below, please. Now, that's an order, Mr. Andrews.
Standing by, sir.
Well, I'd found my story. When we slipped beneath the surface of the North Sea, the captain let the men have rum and brandy to celebrate the Seagull's return to what he called active duty.
He's crazy. He's gone stark raving crazy. The crew that madman picked himself. Well, we'll see about this. Hey, Bosun! Bosun! Come over here.
Know how to handle this ship? I know my job, sir. How'd you like a bonus? Say $1,000. I'd like it fine, sir.
All right. Take over. Never mind the captain. I'll back you up.
I'm sorry, sir. He's my captain.
I'm in charge of this ship. He's under my orders.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I'm under his orders.
That's how it went with the rest of the crew. They were all men without a country, handpicked by the captain, fanatically devoted to their master and the ship that was their world. In the meantime, I noticed some activity on the part of the captain and his radio operator. A constant flow of communications between the ship's wireless and her master's tiny cabin. Andrews and I went there.
Harry?
The captain was sitting on the bunk, poring over a chart-filled table.
Mind if you and I have a little talk
I'm quite busy. 5 minutes, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you. Don't you think this farce has gone far enough? You'll be running out of supplies, you know, and then what?
The sea is abundant with stores of all kinds, Mr. Andrews.
How do you mean?
I shall requisition what I need.
You can't be serious.
Can't I? I have guns, fore and aft, shells to go with them. Give me time, I shall obtain torpedoes as well.
You'll never get away with this.
That remains to be seen. My wireless has picked up the Blenheim Castle, an English freighter. We will sight her by nightfall.
You're going to stop her?
Exactly, Mr. Andrews. There are a few supplies that we need. I am sure her captain will oblige before continuing on his way.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, maybe it rained where you are today. The United States is pretty big, and it's hard for somebody on a coast-to-coast network to keep track of the weather everywhere. But even if they did, remember, it's been a very dry summer. The danger of forest fires is on every hand. Please be careful with those campfires, those cigarettes, those lighted matches. And now, back to Escape.
Approximately 8 hours later, the boatswain's pipe shrilled as the Seagull rose stealthily to the ocean surface. Dead ahead in a choppy sea loomed the massive hull of the freighter Blenheim Castle, her foaming nose eerily phosphorescent, the position lights glimmering across the sea. Our searchlight reached up to her bridge with a long white finger. We clearly made out the tanker's captain standing on his bridge in a splotch of white glare, bellowing through a megaphone.
Hey! Ho, 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 ho! Heave to! Coming alongside! Who are you? Raider! Pass the line! Raider! I won't pass a cow's tail! Where's the war? It is starting now! That's a bloody lie! Heave away! Ready above, or you will be sunk! Why, you kettle-bottom, knock-down heartbreaker! I'll bust your cat from the make water! Follow my orders, or I open fire! Why don't you back up and cook off? I give you 3 minutes. I'll give you a kick in the belly.
It was incredible. Here we were at peace, and Captain Zabatos had started his own private war. He had the guns, and the tanker's captain had only his ship. Before the Seagull's gun crew could get a bearing, the tanker lurched forward, picking up speed. Wheel hard over, bent on ramming us. Our guns started to fire, blasting away at the tanker. But it kept coming on. Closer, closer. The sharp bow cutting through the choppy sea.
Dive! 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 Dive!
We weren't fast enough. There was a grinding lurch, and we knew the Seagull had been damaged in the collision with the freighter, but we couldn't tell how badly. The first realization of disaster came when we saw the captain, his hair damp with perspiration, eyes gleaming feverishly, and a face turned ashen gray.
Nobody leaves this station without my orders. You gentlemen stay out of the way.
I'm not going to take orders from you or anybody else. I represent the owners of this ship.
You do?
You heard me, Zabatos.
Then tell your owner she has been rammed.
I'll hold you responsible.
As her commander, I accept sole responsibility for ship and crew, including you and Mr. Rollins.
That's very noble, mister, but I'm a businessman. What's the extent of the damage?
Conning tower smashed and the scope tube cracked.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, surface, send an SOS.
I never have sent an SOS, and I never will.
That's your business. I'm an American citizen, and so is Mr. Rollins. You can't hold us against our...
You will be put ashore when conditions are favorable.
Let me set you straight about us. If you want to go down in misery, I'm not stopping you. But you can't force me to stick around until this tin can's full of holes. I want to get out of here. Now, I order you for the last time, surface the signal for help.
Andrews, if you wish to leave now, you may take escape hatch.
You're crazy.
Not at all. The damage is trifling.
But since you feel so frightened of your life, I suggest that you leave.
So help me, when we get out of this, I'm going to have you busted, jailed, hung if I can.
Get out of my way if you please. I have no time to discuss the matter with you.
Come on, Andrews.
Whose side are you on, anyway, Rollins?
Nobody's. I just want to live. The hours passed slowly at the ocean bottom, the stillness echoing the attempts of the men working to repair the damage. The air was getting foul, breathing becoming more difficult.
Storage battery's going, sir.
Then dim the lights, bosun.
Oxygen's running low.
Ration it.
I've got 2 men in sick bay already.
All right. All right. Carry on.
Sir.
What is it, bosun?
The men need air. It's very bad aft.
All right. Very well, bosun. We go up. All engines ready.
All engines ready, sir.
Clear pressure tanks.
Clearing tank, sir.
Diving rudder. Standard.
Vessels approaching overhead, sir.
Ease rudder, hold tanks.
Surface vessel calling on out channel, sir.
Don't answer.
British subchaser closing in, sir. Request ship-to-ship communication.
All right. I talk to them. Stand by.
SS Seagull coming in. Go ahead. NS-127.
Are you in trouble, Seagull? No trouble, sir. Surface at once. State your conditions.
Enough.
Then I regretfully refuse her.
Following orders, Seagull. Come up, or we drop depth charges.
Do so, then.
You can't get away. We've got a sonar fix on you.
No surrender.
We are ready with depth charges, Seagull.
Wait! Get back!
American sound here. We need hot communications.
The first depth charge was a warning, followed by another coming closer. Another still closer. The pressure was enormous. The ship rocked from bow to stern and started to take water.
All engines ahead full.
All engines ahead full, sir.
Course 02. Standard.
Course 02. Standard, sir.
Oh, quiet, Captain. This is wrong. It can't help now.
Stand out of my way, Mr. Rollins.
You're a naval officer, not a murderer. Your ship is finished. You have no right to kill your crew. And that's what it's going to mean if you don't stop.
This is my ship. My life. Oh, you don't understand.
It's still murder.
Standing by for your orders, sir.
Well, what are you going to do?
Oh. Surface.
Surface!
Surface! Stand by, surface!
No response, sir. Tanks won't operate.
All engines stop!
All engines stop!
Now what?
I seem to have no choice. Do I? Stand by.
To abandon ship.
Abandon ship.
That was almost the end of it. The sub couldn't get up to the surface. She could only go down. And the way she was taking water, it wasn't going to be long. The men lined up outside the escape chamber. And one by one, they shook hands with the captain as they moved by. You could see in his eyes what they meant to him. And in their low voices, their feelings for him.
Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Captain. Goodbye, Mr. Captain. Goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye, sir.
Then it was Andrew's turn to go.
The bosun is in the lock. He will give you your instructions as to how to get to the surface.
I lived through this, Zapatos. I'm going to see
I know. I am sorry for the discomfort you have been caused. Goodbye, Mr. Andrews.
Coming, Rollins?
Sure. You go ahead. One at a time, you know.
Well, good luck.
And to you.
Now, Mr. Rollins, huh? I imagine you will have quite a story to write for your newspaper.
Well, let's forget that. It's not important. What about you? Andrews isn't kidding, you know. Once you get up there...
I wonder if... Would you do me one last service?
Of course. He got his log out and started to write. I looked over his shoulder as he made his last entry. All men off ship. Strong list to port. Storage batteries 0. Oxygen 20. Ship secure. Signed Captain Jan Zabatos. Commander SS Seagull.
You oblige me by taking this log up with you. It can be fastened to your belt.
Well, why don't you carry it?
There are one or two other things I must take with me.
Now, look.
No, Mr. Rollins, go on. I will follow you.
Yes, but...
Please go on.
Okay. Hurry up, though, will you? She won't last long. I got up to the surface. A boat from the sub-chaser picked me up 5 minutes later. Every man of the crew and Andrews was safe. After that, we cruised about for hours, waiting, hoping that Zabatos would appear. But he didn't. I should have known he'd stay with the Seagull. The skipper of the chaser understood what had happened a lot better after he'd read the log. I guess seamen have a feeling about such things. Well, that's the story. That's all there is to it.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you The Log, a story by Marianne Mosder and Francis Rosenwald, starring Lawrence Dobkin and Byron Kane. Featured in the cast were Alan Reed, Kurt Martell, Frank Gerstle, Eric Snowden, Richard Peel, and Jim Nusser. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are walking the streets of an Indian city. Terrifying, sweltering streets. While the man you fear has already made his mark on you. A mark from which there can be no escape.
So listen next week when Escape will bring you James Henderson's frightening story, The Untouchable. I Confess is the graphic title of tomorrow night's Lux Radio Theater film play adaptation. Cary Grant and Phyllis Thaxter co-star. You'll remember I Confess as one of Alfred Hitchcock's most suspenseful thrillers, and you'll enjoy every minute of it on most of these same stations tomorrow night when CBS Radio presents the Lux Radio Theater. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Remember, you can hear Jack Benny every Sunday night on the CBS Radio Network.
Have you shaken that spring cold yet? Wondering if you'll get a new Easter bonnet this year? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape.
You were aboard a Chinese junk run aground off the coast of Borneo. And paddling toward you are the canoes of the deadly Dayak headhunters. Your powder is wet, and your throat is dry, because for you, there is no escape.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escaped to the Orient of 150 years ago, to the Manila of 1790, in Richard Matthews Hollett's story of a wooden ship and an iron man. Misfortune's Isle. The water which was lying at anchor so close up against the jetty, I could have leaned over and spit on the wheels of the elegant Spanish carriages clattering along the promenade. That's exactly what I felt like doing. I'd been away from Salem for 3 years now. 3 years of sailing a trader brig through the China Seas and south into the Spice Islands. All for what? The whole thing had grown stale suddenly. I was plainly and simply bored. Young Poe stood beside me there at the taffrail and tried to console me with philosophy. He'd anchored his sailing junk alongside earlier in the day and come aboard to renew a friendship that started 2 years before at Tien Sin, when I hauled him out from under an executioner's axe. He was under it because he just sold me 6 fine fat pigs without remembering they happened to be the sacred property of the Tien Sin temple. Oh, Yang Po was a real philosopher, all right.
Anyway, my friend, I reserve my sympathies for the poor. You have gained much wealth in trade.
Aye, and a few measly gold pieces. But the trouble is, out here, a man can't go it on his own. He needs backing.
What more backing could a rash man desire than those 8 brass cannon at the rail?
Aye, they're fair guns, all right. But it's a flag I'm speaking of.
Do these unworthy eyes not see a pin-up there at the masthead?
The bunning of Salem swings no weight out here. In the south, it's the Dutch who call the turn. On the coast, the British, and here in Manila, it's the Spanish. Man has... Young Po. There she comes now, in the second carriage there. That's the 4th time since high noon she's come back.
4 fine horses and 2 footmen. She rides in style.
Watch. She'll look up at the ship. She has every time today. There, you see?
That one. The little cajured bird.
You know her?
I know of her. She is wife of Don Narciso Crispo, the Spanish nobleman who is Captain General of the island south of Zamboanga. He is in residence here in Manila.
She looks very sad. Why is she called the little caged bird?
One glimpse of Don Narciso would answer your question better than 1,000 words.
She's very beautiful, too. I'll swear she looked back and smiled just then.
Captain Arad, once in pity, I set free a parakeet which I had found caught in a net. I still bear a scar from its beak.
Some things may be worth taking chances for.
I find it so much simpler to Go to sleep and dream of maidens on the moon.
Oh, but the moon's too far away.
Hey, Rat, where are you?
Huh? Oh, up here, Michael, on the quarterdeck.
Then the honorable red-headed one is still your first mate?
Aye, that he is. What's the matter, Michael?
Matter indeed. Haven't you heard all the excitement in town? I've been looking. Young fool, haven't they hung you yet?
This unworthy one is touched by your concern, Mr. Oakley.
What do you mean by excitement? I've been on board all day.
Now, last night, with all the soldiers on guard and the stone ramparts and all, a band of pirates slipped ashore down coast and got through into the city.
Pirates?
Aye, 10,000 bushels of misfortune. They may possibly think it was me.
Oh, they have no clue as to who it was. Got away scot-free, they did. And they almost abducted the Captain General of Zamboanga himself.
What?
Aye. An important grandee by the name of Don Cisco something or other. His guard finally heard him.
Pity. Fortune not with you, Captain Harrod.
But here's the part that'll stop you. There is no one in Manila that knows who they were, except yours truly, Michael O'Kane.
Go on.
Here, have a look at that.
Why, it's a Manchester cutlass. Aye. And there's the mark on the handle. Hey, it's one we traded to Serif.
Aye, the bandit king of North Borneo. And it was me found this morning on the beach where the pirate boat came ashore.
You found it?
No, not quite. A Malay by the name of Jambu brought it to me.
Jambu. 10,000 sampans filled with spoiled fish.
You know the fellow?
I have used him as interpreter. He speaks Dayak. But in some former incarnation, he undoubtedly was ill.
You know, I think this may be exactly what I need.
Need? For what, Eric?
To make fortunes for the three of us.
I certainly remember an unexpected appointment.
Young Poe. It's a plan that won't work without you. I'm not talking of bare profits. This means a fortune.
I am amazed. There is much talk of money, and yet very little talk of Spanish ladies.
I've heard rumors on shore about these Spanish lasses. For one thing, they wear no stockings.
Huh? And how's a man to know it, Michael? You can't count too much on hearsay.
Well, no, it was a Spaniard that told me.
All right, now listen, lad. Let me tell you the plan. And if we're all agreed, I'll go ashore and talk to this Don Narciso.
After I have heard it, I think I shall go and sacrifice White Rooster to Queen of Heaven, though I doubt it will do a great deal of good.
The only thing I can't understand is why this damn boo didn't take the cutlass to Don Narciso in the first place.
It is quite possible he did take it there in first place, Captain Harrod. It is point worth consideration.
It took a bit of talking, right enough, but finally the others agreed to the plan. And no more than 2 hours later, I was talking to the Captain General of Zamboanga himself. He turned out to be a little monkey of a man, yellow as a faded sunflower and much older than I expected to find.
I'm quite well satisfied regarding your identification of those who perpetrated the outrage, Captain Harrod. But addictions and fatalities. I have also heard the stories of this pirate Serif.
No, I think a broadside of my 32-pounders can furnish him enough fatalities, Excellency.
It's not that simple. They say his headquarters on the Borneo coast is nothing less than a fortress.
It's only a bamboo stockade lying at the mouth of the river. And it's in range of the guns on my brig. My friend Young Po has been there.
But hard against the mouth of the river is the Pluchalaka.
Misfortune's Isle. And on it, limestone caves filled with birds' nests worth $50 a pound in Canton.
That may well be, Captain Harrod. But there is also the Upas tree. You must have heard of it.
Aye. But I count little on hearsay, Excellency.
It is not hearsay. The Dayak headhunters poison the spears and arrows with its juices. I have seen men scratched by them die like that.
Some things are worth taking chances for.
I must say that I quite agree with you, Dusty.
Delfina, Captain Harrod. May I present my wife, Doña Delfina de Crispo, Captain Harrod.
I'm on it.
Narciso, I have heard it all. You must agree to this expedition.
Huh?
You know the king's offer. Any man who reached these islands of pirates to be made a conde with lands and titles.
To have both lands and titles, my dear. What is it you expect from this, Captain Harrod?
A fortune, Excellency.
Huh?
The bird's nests themselves should be worth $500,000 Yankee dollars. And there's gold and antimony in the river. And trade with the Dyaks.
Precisely what is the plan of yours?
Well, 50 of Serif's men are Chinese who once served Yang Po. They'll come in with us if he can get word to them. That'll make things easier.
And how do you expect to get word to them?
Yang Po and I'll sail in ahead of his junk and try to contact them. My mate will bring up the Water Witch 24 hours later, and then we'll attack.
And exactly why have you come to me?
Oh, were I to do it without official support, I'd be just a pirate myself, wouldn't I?
I don't know. It would be a great thing if it could be done.
Narciso, why not think of it tonight and decide in the morning?
That may be a wise suggestion.
Will you allow me to show you out, Capitan Eric?
By your leave, Excellency.
I'll see you tomorrow then. Good day, Captain.
This way, please. He will agree. You may depend on it.
Good. I hope also that His Excellency will accompany us personally.
He will. You can be certain of it.
You seem quite sure of that.
Who do you think it was who had the cutlass sent to you?
You?
Here is the door, Capitan. I will say, Ariosito now. In our language, it means goodbye for a little while.
For a little while, huh? Well, in that case, adiosito. Delfino was right. The next morning, he agreed to it. And 2 days later, we sailed out of Manila Harbor. Don Narciso accompanied me on Yang Po's junk, and Michael O'Kane followed at the helm of the Water Witch. Our luck deserted us as we rounded the Corregidor and sailed square into the tail end of a typhoon. There was little wind, but a heavy sea was running, and it took us on the port bow for all that night and the next day. We lost sight of the Water Witch, and the leaky old junk pitched and rolled like a dory. Yang Po stayed mostly below in his bunk and dreamed peacefully of the maidens on the moon, while I stayed on deck and skippered her through it. It was late the second night before I had a chance to go down to my cabin.
Buenas noches, Capitan.
Delfina! What in the name of the devil are you doing aboard?
Being tossed about mostly. It is a very unsteady ship you have, Capitan.
Well, it should be a lot more unsteady when 100 Dyak headhunters start trying to board her. How did you arrive here?
In a sack of feathers. It's really all that saved me during the storm, you know.
Oh, confound it. Don't you realize your husband is on board? Sleeping in the deck cabins. Suppose he should come down here for something.
He did once. I hid in the wardrobe.
Oh, all the fool tricks.
But you did say, Oriosito, for a little while.
Yes, but it wasn't an invitation.
Who could tell? Anyway, I shall prove quite valuable to you.
I doubt it.
You will see. Narciso will become frightened at the last moment. He always does.
Now, what will you do?
Whatever is required at the time. I am not afraid of fighting, my Capitan. I have seen it before.
Confound it. We had a fortune in our reach, and now you come along and ruin it.
You underestimate me.
Well, I won't do that again.
You are very rude.
I meant to be. Why did you marry him?
I had no choice. My father was ambitious. Narciso was influential.
And did your father realize his ambition?
He became a colonel and was killed at Santiago de Chile.
Oh, I'm sorry. And now if you'll remove yourself from my bunk, I need some sleep.
If you are going to move in here, then what am I going to do?
Oh, you'll think of something. You made all your own plans so far. Oh, thank you.
But if my husband sees me, then he may think you brought me on board.
Well, in that case, I shall be forced to kill him in a duel. Good night.
You are going to sleep?
I hope to. Try the shrine of the Queen of Heaven. It's the last cabin in the stern. No one goes there but Yang Po, and he'll have to be told about you anyway. Good night.
Even when you are rude to me, your mouth. is so very sweet. Buenas noches.
Well, woman or no woman aboard, it was too late to turn back now. And so 2 days later, we dropped anchor at the mouth of Serif River. Off the port rail, a quarter-mile away, lay the pirate stockade. It was backed up by the dark green mass of jungle. And on the opposite side of the junk, across 100 yards or so of water, was the beach of Misfortune Isle, sloping back to break sharply on the foot of the limestone cliffs. On the upper shoulders of those cliffs were the caves with a fortune in edible bird's nests. And between the cliffs and the water stood the Upas tree. 100 legends were told about the Upas tree. How its shadow could kill a man. How the spirit of a white goddess was prisoned in the thick, dark foliage of its top. And how birds that lighted on its branches fell dead to the ground. Well, one thing at least was true enough. The Dyaks made a horrible poison from the juice of its bark. And they worshipped the tree. Young Paul took the renegade interpreter Jambu with him and went ashore to pay his respects to Serif, and at the same time was to pass the word to his Chinese friends. It was late afternoon when he came back, and I'd become nearly as uneasy as Don Narciso. Young Paul came aboard alone and motioned me to follow him below, saying nothing until we were alone in my cabin.
It is my humble opinion, Captain Howard, that heaven favors us with a decided lack of fortune.
Why? What happened?
Serif, most polite. I, most polite. We enjoy most friendly conversation while we both held our knives beneath our robes. All very polite.
Well, did you get word to your men?
Serif blessed with presence of 200 Dyaks and 50 Malays. My own brethren are unfortunately down the coast for 2 days.
Oh, that's a bad piece of luck.
But I have news of much worse one. Jambu, that son of 10,000 devils, has deserted us.
Deserted us?
He has joined Serif.
Oh, he'll tell him exactly what we're planning.
Do not believe Jambu would do such a thing.
Delphina, I told you to stay out of this cabin.
Jambu worships me. He is my slave. Why, it was he who helped me sleep on board.
Oh, so that's why he's done it.
He has not deserted. What could he hope to gain by it?
You, probably.
This unworthy one offers suggestion that we stand out to sea until water which come tomorrow.
A fine idea, except for one thing. Your sleepy little sons of heaven left the cable slack. We're grounded on a mud bar with no chance of moving before the tide tomorrow morning. We'll have to stand and fight.
Yes, they are so careless. I forgot to tell you, they even neglected to cover powder during storm. The water ruined it.
Well, then we'll not even have the 4 cannon.
Really matter of slight importance. They only ornaments. They would blow up if we fired them.
You could hardly have picked a more suitable time to tell me. Well, we'll fight without them.
The impetuosity of youth. I think I sleep for a while and dream of maidens on the moon.
Young Po, you'll stay on your feet and start your men boiling kettles of oil and piling rocks by the rail.
It would be so much pleasanter to die in one sleep.
If I know Serif, you'll not attack until nearly midnight. Delphina, can you swim?
I can do anything.
Primarily, I want to know if you can swim.
I can.
Good. Young Po, I'll be back and help you in an hour, but I have a job to do first. Come along, Condesa. It was dark when we slipped into the water and struck out for the island. If I had tried to lower a boat, they might have seen us from the shore. I could see no other way to keep her out of it. The rest of us had no chance. I knew how the Dyaks fought. We could expect no help. And on board, she would have been the only one of us left alive. Aye, Jambu would see to that. We made the beach safely, crossed it, and worked our way up the steep path on the face of the cliff. Finally, we reached the ledge in front of the cave.
Oh, it is so dark here. It frightens me.
Well, there's nothing to harm you. Bats in the caves, perhaps, but nothing else.
I am to stay here alone, then?
Aye, until the water witch comes into anchor tomorrow. Light this torch, then, and signal them. They'll come ashore and take you off.
Tomorrow? Where will you be tomorrow, Arik? You are going back there to die with him, aren't you?
We'll have a fighting chance.
You have no chance at all. You know it. Don't go. Stay with me, Arik.
You know that's impossible.
No, this man, young poet's no better than a pirate himself, and you cannot help him by losing your own life. Or stay with me.
And what of your husband?
Do not go back. I beg you. Please, Arik.
Delphina, you have a deadlier poison than the Upas tree itself.
Will you force me then to stay here in safety and watch you die on those decks there below us?
Will it make so very much difference to you?
So much that I would not care to be alive tomorrow. In Manila, I hated my life. I prayed for earthquakes, pirates, death, anything. But now I pray only that you may live through this night.
Delphina, there's nothing can be said.
Leave then if you must. But before you do, kiss me.
Delphina.
When as much as precioso. Adiosito.
Adiosito. For a little while. Had I stayed there one moment longer, I should never have left her. Back aboard the junk, I found young Poe rushing preparations for the hopeless fight that stood ahead of us. Don Narciso was shivering on the quarterdeck, and I saw no reason to tell him his wife had made the trip with us. The Chinese crew had piled stones and smoke pots at the rail, ready to throw down on the heads of the Dyaks who would try to board us, and kettles of oil were being heated over a brick hearth by the mast. Paper lanterns had been lighted and hung about the rigging. But outside the narrow limits of the deck, we could see nothing. Nothing but the black wall of the Borneo night. That same dark wall shut off any sight of the Upas tree and of the cliff face where Delphina lay hidden. But I knew from the ledge she could see us moving about on the lighted deck. I loaded my pistols with the only dry powder aboard, and we waited. There was no light on shore, and no sound. And 3 hours went past.
Senor, have all possible measures been taken? My venerable Captain General, I have offered incense and rice to Queen of Heaven. If our enemies prevail after that, then we have mistreated them in some former life. I go below to sleep.
Sleep? And who is to give orders to your men?
They give them to one another, Excellency. They are all commanders in their own right. We may perhaps meet later in third or fourth heaven.
With the powder, trigger aboard, and the ground of the ship.
I might warn you before the attack starts, Your Excellency. Stay away from the rail, at least until after the smoke pots are thrown.
Huh?
The Dyaks use bamboo poles with iron hooks on the end, and they can reach up and drag a man over the rail easier than picking coconuts.
Captain Arat, perhaps we could surrender. Make peace somehow.
They'll take no surrender. They want our heads.
Look! They're on us. Young Paul, on deck! Here they come!
What's the rails, Your Excellency? Use your cutlass if a head comes over the side and look out for the hook.
On deck!
Sir, Dyak warriors have run their boats in against the sides of the junk, and now we're pushing their murderous hooks over the rail. The Chinese crew is fighting like madmen, tossing over smoke pots, smashing those heavy rocks down on the heads of the pirate mob, pouring out smoking kettles of boiling oil. And the whole curtain of night was torn by the screams of agony.
Captain Arad, we find ourselves suddenly without smoke pots or soothing oil. and works are nearly gone.
All right, they'll be swarming aboard us in another 2 minutes. Where's the Captain General?
He has retired to cabin. It would be uncharitable to say he hides there.
Well, a lot of good it'll do him. What happened? Young Poe. They're on the island. Look.
It would appear top of Secla Dupas tree has burst into flame.
The great flaming torch of the tree spread into full bloom and leaped up to the heavens, lighting the whole sea around us. And everywhere about us, screaming in hoarse terror, the Dyaks drew off in their boats and stared at the blazing death of their sacred tree. And then in full view on the glaring face of the cliff, the beautiful and weird figure of a woman, hair streaming behind it, swung slowly out from behind the flame, and up, and then disappeared over the ledge in front of the cave. And at the sight of their white goddess escaping from her prison in the tree, the Dyaks broke in panic and turned their boats and raced for the shore. And while I thought of the signal torch I'd left with Delphina, suddenly the battle was over.
10,000 bushels of unexpected good fortune. The little parakeet have saved our worthless lives.
All right, then you recognize her.
These venerable eyes have never looked upon sight more fair. I shall address her hereafter as Princess of Heaven. And I think perhaps another recognized her also.
Caramba, did you not see it? That was Delphina. It was my wife.
I know. She was aboard with us.
Aboard with us? By your permission, senor?
No, she stowed away and asked that the knowledge of her presence be kept from you.
I have no doubt she found you quite agreeable to such a plan.
Take care, Excellency.
Take care? I will see your hand, senor. And as for her, I shall whip her through the streets of Manila.
We will discuss that later.
I do not discuss my decisions. In fact, it may be better that I bring her aboard at once. Perhaps beaters or dead on this very deck. You'll pardon me.
It is my humble opinion that elderly men should learn to control their emotions.
Wait. There's a Dyak warrior hiding there by the rail.
The boats have gone and left him.
Excellency! Excellency, away from that rail!
I take no orders from you, senor.
Get back! Look out!
Silence! Stalkers!
Wait, Captain!
Very commendable shooting, Captain Arad.
Hi, but a little used to the Captain General, I'm afraid. See what you can do for him, young Poe. I'm going ashore to look after her.
See what I can do for him. Now, how can I be expected to replace man's head on his body, especially when head seems to have rolled overboard?
There's not the least bit of use in giving me a poet's blind, you old reprobate. It was nothing but pure luck that kept me from sailing in here this morning and finding nothing but your heads all a-smoking in a row.
Life moves only according to dreams of Queen of Heaven, Mr. O'Kane. Not to mention, of course, those of a princess.
Oh, that Spanish lass, eh? And quite a one she's turned out to be.
I plan to devote the remainder of my unworthy life to rescue of small birds from nets.
Now, that's a silly way for a grown man to spend his time. Oh, come in, Arad. I've been wondering where to find you.
I was charting the course.
Well, we can sail in the morning. Both ships are nearly loaded.
Good. We'll head for Canton. Young Poe, this friend of yours there, this Hong Qua, do you think he might have some good quality of silk to trade?
It is possible.
Silk is it now? And what will you be wanting silk for, Arad?
Well, it's not silk. I mean, not exactly.
Come, man. It's what? It's not silk, Arad, then what is it,
Oh, all right, Michael, if you have to know everything. I want to trade with him for a dozen pair of silk stockings.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight brought you Misfortune Isle by Richard Matthews Hallett, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, with Paul Frees as Captain Arad, Virginia Gregg as Doña Delphina, Bill Conrad as Young Poe, Barry Kroger as Don Narciso, and Tony Barrett as Mike O'Kane. Next week.
When you're tired out from doing nothing all weekend, when Blue Monday stares you in the face, Next week at this time, when your problems seem just too much for you, we offer you escape.
Next week, we bring you another exciting story by one of the world's great authors. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Did you have too many Easter eggs today? Dreaming about that vacation you can't take yet? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape.
You are groping your way slowly through the dark hold of a ship at sea, moving carefully, step by step, searching intensely for something you dread to find, because you know that this ship carries a cargo of death.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, at your request, we bring back one of our most popular escape stories. We escaped to a harbor front in Venezuela, and a grim voyage which started from there, as told by Martin Storm in his gripping tale, A Shipment of Mute Fate.
I stopped on the wharf at La Guaira, looked up the gangplank toward the liner Chankay, standing there quietly at her moorings. The day was warm under a bright tropic sun. The harbor beyond the ship lay drowsy and silent. But all at once, in the midst of those peaceful surroundings, a cold chill gripped me, and I shivered with sudden dread. Dread of the thing I was doing and was about to do. Too much had happened to turn back now. Had gone too far to stop. I set the box down on the edge of the wharf, placed it carefully so as to be in plain sight, and within gunshot of the captain's bridge. I knew what I was going to do, but I couldn't forget that a certain pair of beady eyes were watching every move I made. Eyes that never blinked and never closed, just watched and waited. I turned and started up the gangplank.
You startled me, sir. Why, it's Mr. Warner.
Hello, Mother Willis. How's the best-looking stewardess on the 7th Sea?
I'm fine, Mr. Warner. I guess I'd better run along now. Get on with my trouble.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That's a fine greeting after 2 months.
It's just that I'm so busy.
I don't believe a word of it. Sailing day's tomorrow. You're simply avoiding me, that's all.
Oh, no, really, I'm not.
And on the trip down from New York, you said I was your favorite passenger.
But I'm only...
Here. What's that you're carrying in your apron?
Oh, it's nothing. Just supplies.
Supplies? Let's have a look.
No, please.
It's a cat.
It's Clara, Mr. Warner. Mr. Bowman said I had to leave her ashore, and I just couldn't.
Who's Mr. Bowman?
The new second mate. Clara's been aboard with me for 2 years, and I just can't leave her here in a foreign country, especially with her condition so delicate and all.
Yes, I see. Well, I hope you get away with it.
Yes. You won't tell anyone.
Not a soul. As a matter of fact, if things don't work out right, we may both end up smuggling. Well, it's happy to have you aboard on the trip down
town 2 months ago, Christopher, and I'm very glad you're coming along with us on the run back to New York.
Well, thanks, Captain Wood. There is one thing, though. I'm having a little trouble with the customs men here, and I wanted to...
can't do it, Christopher. I just cabled your father this morning. Told him I'd have done it for you if I possibly could. He sent a request from New York, you know.
Yeah, I thought he would. I wired him from upriver last week.
I hated to refuse, but it's absolutely out of the question.
Captain Wood, I'm afraid I don't follow you.
Responsibility to the passengers, son. We'll have women and children aboard. On a liner, the safety of the passengers comes ahead of anything else.
But with proper precautions...
Something might happen.
What?
I don't know what, but something might.
Carried worse things.
There isn't anything worse. Any skipper afloat will bear me out. No, Christopher, I simply can't take the chance. That's final.
Final. Wasn't final if I could do anything about it. I hadn't come down here to spend 2 months in that stinking backcountry and then be stopped on the edge of the wharf. 2 months of it. Heat, rain, insects, malaria. I'd gone clear in past the headwaters of the Orinoco. Traveled through country where every step along the jungle trail might be the last. Sanchez!
Si, Senor Wanda.
Better start looking for a place to camp. Be dark in a little while.
Si, senor. Very soon we'll turn to red. Camp on rocks by water. This is a very bad country.
This very bad country. We've been staying here for 10 days now. Very bad country.
Si, Senor Wanda. This is very bad country.
Yeah, skip it. For all the luck we've had so far, it might as well be Central Park.
Central Park? I don't understand.
Never mind. Yeah, what's the matter? Quiet now. Sanchez, what's wrong?
They're in the past. See, Bushmaster.
Bushmaster. The deadliest snake in the world. Bushmaster. Latin name was Lachesis muta. Mute face. It lay there in the center of the path, a 10-foot length of silent death, coiled loosely in an undulant loop, ready to strike violently at the least movement. Here was the one snake that would go after any animal that walked, or any man. It lay there and watched it, not moving, not afraid, ready for anything. The splotch of its color stood out like some horrible, gaudy floor mat lying there on the brown background of the jungle, waiting for someone to step on it. Here was what I'd come 2,000 miles for. A bushmaster. The natives captured the snake, and Sanchez brought it to me in a rubber bag. He was shaking so hard I thought for a moment the thing had struck him.
One thing you make sure, Senor Wanda. Not turn him loose in Venezuela. Because he know I the one who catch him. And he know where I live.
All right, Sanchez, I'll keep an eye on it.
He also know you pay me to catch him. All the time he watch and wait. You'll no forget that, Senor Warner, because he no forget. Not ever.
Well, after going through all that trouble and danger and laying out $1,500, I wasn't going to let a pig-headed ship captain stop me at the last minute. At least not as long as the cables were still in operation between La Guaira and New York. Good morning, Captain Wood. The boys at the hotel said you wanted to see me.
That's right, Christopher. Sit down.
Thanks.
Seems you weren't willing to let matters stand the way we left him yesterday.
I'm sorry to go over your head, Captain Wood, but I had to. The museum sent me a long way to get that snake. I'm not going to be stopped by red tape. This will be the only live bushmaster ever brought to the United States.
Yes, if I had my way. Orders are orders. Got a cable from the head office this morning. All right, Christopher, suppose we talk about precautions.
I'll handle it any way you say.
You've got to have a stronger box. That crate's too flimsy.
Well, it's stronger than it looks. A wire screen on top would hold a wildcat. But anyway, I bought a heavy sea chest this morning. We'll put the crate inside of it.
Sounds all right. That lock on it.
Yeah, heavy padlock. It's fixed so the lid can be propped open a crack without unlocking. Snake's got there.
In dirty weather, that lid has to stay shut. I'll take no chances.
Fair enough.
We'll keep the thing in my inside cabin where I sleep. You can't have it in the baggage room. And nobody on board is to know about it.
Whatever you say, Captain. We won't have any trouble after all. It's only an animal that doesn't have any magical powers.
I saw a bushmaster in the zoo at Caracas once. They had it in a glass cage with double walls. Never moved. Just lay there and looked at you as long as you were inside. Enough to give a man the creeps.
Didn't know they had a bushmaster at the Caracas Zoo.
They don't now. They found the glass broken one morning and the snake gone, the night watchman dead. They never learned exactly what happened.
Well, the watchman must have broken the glass by accident somewhere.
The way they figured it, the glass was broken from the inside. We sailed in 4 hours.
Into the Caribbean with perfect weather and a sea as smooth as an inland lake. The barometer dropped a little on the 3rd day, but cleared up overnight, left nothing worse than a heavy swell. But in spite of the calm seas and pleasant weather, I found myself feeling more and more often an ominous foreboding. I was developing an almost unnatural fear of that snake. Stay clear of the passengers pretty much. Got the habit of dropping into Captain Wood's quarters several times a day. Kept the heavy box underneath his berth. Approached it quietly and shined my flashlight through the open crack. Never once could I catch that 12-foot devil asleep, or even excited. He'd be lying there half-coiled, his head raised a little, staring out of those beady black eyes, waiting. It'd still be like that when I turned away to leave. Maybe that's what bothered me. That horrible and constant watchful waiting. In the name of heaven was he waiting for?
Hello there, Mr. Warner.
Oh, how are you, Mother Willis?
My, but you and the captain spend an awful lot of time around this cabin. I'm beginning to think the two of you must have some guilty secret.
Oh, no, nothing like that, Mother Willis. I don't know about Captain Wood, but I certainly don't have any guilty secrets. Well, she's running quite a swell out there, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, it's a little heavy, all right, Mr. Warner. Just as Stoneham passed through to the west of us yesterday when the glass dropped.
You think it missed us then, huh?
Yeah, that's what the mate figures. Sure stirred up some water, though.
This will put half the passengers in that bunk. They'll keep Mother Willis so busy. Hey, look at the size of that wave.
Huh? Great Jehoshaphat, we're going to take it on the port bow. Hang on.
That was a freak if there ever was one. Not another wave that size in sight.
Oh, you see them like that sometimes, even in a calm sea. I ain't got to get below, Mr. Warner. That water probably did some real damage in the officer's deck.
Yeah, what did you say?
The wheel companionway was open on the port side. The bridge cabins must have taken a pretty bad smashing up. They're right below the... Something wrong, Mr. Warner?
No, nothing at all, Mr. Bowman. At least I hope not. I didn't stop to find Captain Wood. Of course, I knew it was only one chance in 1,000, but the chances against that freak wave were 1 in 1,000, too. I stumbled down the companionway and along the passage to the captain's cabin.
Oh, come in, Mr. Warner.
Mother Willis.
My, this cabin a mess. Trying to get some of these things out to dry.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to... Where's that box that was under the captain's bunk?
Oh, that? Well, I just threw it out on the deck.
What?
There was a desk over there slid into it. It was all smashed.
But the small box inside of it, what happened to it?
Oh, they were both splintered, Mr. Warner. Broke wide open.
No.
Oh, Mr. Warner, you're white as a sheet.
Mother Willis, go find Captain Wood. Tell him to come down here immediately.
Well, of course, Mr. Warner. I'll go tell him right away. I can finish up here later.
Pulled open the top drawer of the bureau inside. Took out the captain's flashlight and loaded pistol. Mother Willis had left the mop standing by the door. I put my foot on the head of it and snapped off the handle. Every move I made turned into slow motion. I could hear my own heartbeat. Slowly, I started to search the cabin. Sodden heaps of clothing and furnishings were scattered around on the wet black floor. I punched at them one at a time, holding the gun cocked, flashlight pointing along the stick. Nothing. I worked around the room, throwing the light into the dark corners, back of the desk, under the bunk. Wherever I turned, I could feel those cold, unblinking eyes at my back. Watching. Wait. Using the stick, I pushed open the closet door and threw the light inside. Carefully, I poked at the boxes and junk on the floor. Snake was not in the closet. Inch by inch, I covered the entire cabin. And only then a horrible realization began to dawn on me. Captain Wood.
Mother Willis just told me. Well, Christopher, it's happened.
That's right, it's happened.
After you found the gun, we better start searching the cabin here.
Captain Wood, I just finished searching it.
Oh, then. Women, kids, and that thing loose on board. 1,000 places for it to hide. Heaven help us, Christopher. Anybody now, gentlemen. I didn't call you in here to pass judgment. The thing's done, and that's that.
Well, you're right there, Captain.
What we have got to do is to make up our minds how we're going to handle it. And it'd be easier if we didn't have to tell the passengers and crew. I've seen panicked aboard liners before. Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Bowman. But I don't quite see how we can avoid it.
They've got a right to know. As long as that snake's loose, everybody on board's in the same danger, and they all ought to know about it.
Captain Wood, that thing is 12 feet long. It can't simply crawl into a crack. Why don't we make a quick search of the whole ship before we spread any alarm?
Now, so do that, Christopher. As far as I can see, the only place it couldn't be is in the boilers or on top of the galley stove.
Well, it might have crawled overboard.
We can't count on that. We've got to assume it's on the ship somewhere.
Yeah, and that could be anywhere. In a coil of rope on a deck chair.
Our bucket or in a pile of clothes. Yes, or under some woman's berth or a baby's crib.
You've already said it. Bushmaster could be anywhere. We've got to do something. We've got to do it fast.
All right. I think the best idea is to follow Mr. Warner's suggestion and make a quick search first. You agree to that?
Right.
And if we don't find it, we'll have to warn the passengers.
We've got to find it. Alone in the dim baggage room, I went through the same movements as I had earlier in the captain's cabin. Gun in one hand, flashlight in the other, poking into every dark corner, behind every trunk and box. Since the baggage room was empty, I could keep the gun cocked and ready. The rest of those poor devils were having to do the same thing. Barehanded. All over the ship, the search went on.
Here now, Stuart, what on earth are you doing rummaging through my cabin?
Just checking up, ma'am.
Well, I'm quite sure there's nothing in here that has to be checked.
Sorry, ma'am. Captain's orders. It'll only take a few minutes.
Well, I never heard of such thing. A passenger simply doesn't have any privacy at all. I've traveled on a lot of different lines.
Sorry, sir. I wonder if you mind moving over to the other rail. I'd like to look through these lockers.
Sure, go ahead. What's the matter? You lost something?
No, just looking things over.
Oh, there's nothing in there but life preservers.
Yeah, that's right.
You must be getting ready to sink the boat. Gotta collect the insurance, huh? Gonna send us all to the bottom, huh?
But not one of us could find that deadly shape, coiled in some dark corner or outstretched along a window seat. Not one of us caught a glimpse of that horrid head with its beady, black, watchful eyes. The thing lay waiting out there somewhere along the deck, shaded in the gathering dusk. But where? We didn't know. Nearly dark when we met together again in the chart room.
Well, gentlemen, there's no other way around it. We've risked all the time we can. We've got to warn the passengers.
How do we do it, Captain? To call them all together in the lounge?
No, if we did anything like that, we'd be asking for a panic. We'll get one, whether we ask for it or not. We pick a few men and go through the cabin decks. Get them individually, inside the cabin. Watch for any that act like they might cause trouble. We'll keep an eye on them. Handle crew the same way. Right, Captain. As soon as you're finished, arm all the deck officers and start searching again. Our only chance of preventing a riot is to find that damnable snake.
This slow nightmare that followed grew worse by the hour. None of us slept. All the ship's officers not on duty kept on with that endless search. Passengers locked themselves in their cabins or huddled together in the lounges, knowing all the time that no spot on board could be called safe. Fear was a heavy fog in the lungs of all of us, and every light on the vessel burned throughout the night. Morning came, brought no relief. Terror and tension mounted by the hour.
There now, Mrs. Crane. Stop getting yourself all worked up and go back to your cabin.
Oh.
The horrid thing's probably crawled overboard.
Oh, you're just
anyway.
saying that. You don't pay to say that. You don't know. Nobody knows.
Now, everything's going to be all right.
If only we could do something. If all of us could only get off the ship. They could fumigate it. That's it. We've got to get off the ship. We've got to get off the ship.
Wait. Mr. Bowman, he's going to jump.
Hold it on, lady. Nice work, Mr. Bowman. Get her down to her cabin. Whatever you do, don't turn her loose.
You never know when it might strike you. You can't put on a coat or move a chair without risking your life. Something's got to be done. It might be right here in this lounge.
All right, Mr. Duff. Better quiet down and take it easy.
Take it easy? You're a great officer. Why don't you do something about it? That thing might be crawling around here right under our feet somewhere.
I said, shut up. They're trying to start a panic.
I got a right to talk. I don't want to die. Nobody's going to tell me what.
The second night passed. Morning came round again. A gray and rainy day that dragged past. And then night came down again. Third night of the terror. Again, every light burned. The whole ship seethed in the throes of incipient panic. Faced by a horror they'd never met on the sea before, crew and officers alike were on the verge of revolt. Passengers sat huddled in a trance-like stupor, ready to scream at the slightest unknown sound. 7 bells, I made my way forward to the chart room, found Captain Wood bent over his desk.
Oh, hello, Christopher. Come on in. Sit down.
It's got to be somewhere, Captain Wood. It's got to be.
I don't know. You could search the ship for 6 months and never touch all the places aboard. If we can only hold out for 2 more days, we'll be in.
What's the Home Office say?
Use the latest wireless from them. Keep quiet and keep coming. What else can we do? How is it on the deck?
Pretty bad. Anything could happen.
Yes, that's why I took the guns away from the men. 1 pistol shot and we'd have a riot on our hands.
Whole thing's my fault, Captain Wood. That's what I can't forget.
Take it easy.
Now, if there was only some way I could pay for it myself alone.
I know how you feel. But it's no more your fault than mine, or the man who asked you to bring that snake back alive. Nobody planned this. You'd better try to get a little sleep, boy.
Sleep?
Mr. Bowman made some coffee down in the steward's galley a while ago. Why don't you go on down and get yourself a cup? Then rest for a couple of hours.
Rest? I can't rest.
Christopher. Not going to help anything if you stumble through a hatch half asleep and break your neck, is it? You go on and get some coffee. One way or another, we've got to hold out for 2 more days.
Light was on the steward's galley. Coffee pot was standing on the stove. Still warm, so I didn't bother to heat it. Poured out a cup, carried it over and set it on the porcelain tabletop in the center of the room. Started to light a cigarette. The door of the pan cupboard beneath the sink was standing slightly ajar. I happened to glance toward it. I dropped the cigarette, moved slowly backward. I'd found the Bushmaster. As I moved, the snake slid out of the cupboard in a single sinuous glide, drew back into a loose coil on the galley floor, never taking his eyes off me. I moved slowly back, waiting any moment for that deadly, slithering strike. How had he known it was me? He'd stayed quiet when Bowman was here. How had he picked the first time in 5 days that I was without a gun? My hands touched the bulkhead behind me and I stopped. Only then I realized the terror of what I'd done. The call button and the door were on the far side of the room. I backed into a dead end. I stared at the snake in fascination, expecting any moment the ripping flash of those poison fangs. The horrid coils tightened a little. And was still again. 10 million years of evolution to produce this moment. Homo sapiens versus Lachesis muta. A man against mute fate. And all the odds were on fate. I knew then that I was going to die. Feel the sweat run down between the painted walls and the palms of my hands pressing against it. My skin crawled and twitched and the pit of my stomach was as cold as ice. No sound but the rush of blood in my ears. The snake shifted again, drawing into a tighter coil, always tighter. Why didn't the devil get it over with? Then, just for an instant, his head veered away. Something moved over by the stove. I didn't dare turn to look at it. Slowly, it moved out into my line of vision. It was a cat. That scrawny cat Clara that Mother Willis had sneaked to Fort McGuire. Its back was arched and every hair stood on it. It moved stiff-legged now, walking in a half circle around the snake. The Bushmaster moved slowly and kept watching the cat. He tightened. He was going to strike at any second. He struck and missed. The cat was barely out of reach. But now she was walking back and forth again. She was asking to die. Missed again. By a fraction of an inch. He was striking now without even going to a full coil. Missed. Again and again, always missing by the barest margin. Each time the cat danced barely out of reach, and each time she countered with one precise pat of her dainty paw, bracing her skinny frame on three stiff legs. And then suddenly I realized what she was doing. The Bushmaster was hurt. The one strike was just an instant slow, but in that split-second, sharp claws raked across the evil head and ripped out both the lidless eyes. The cat had deliberately blinded the snake. He didn't bother to question her, but slid after her in a fury, striking wildly and rapidly, always missing. And every strike was a little slower than the last one, until finally... Snake's neck stretched out at the end of a strike. The cat made one leap and sank her razor-sharp teeth just back of the ugly head. Sank her until they crunched bone. Something claws she clung as the monster snake flailed and lashed on the floor, striving to get those hideous coils around her, trying to break her hold, to shake off the claw in certain paralyzing death that gradually crept over him and at last stilled his struggles forever. I took a deep breath. The first in minutes. The cat lay on his side on the floor, panting. Resting from the fight just over. She had a right to rest. That mangy, brave, beautiful alley cat. It just saved my life. And maybe others as well. But as I turned toward the stove, I suddenly became very humble. And I knew all at once what a small thing a human being really is. I and others aboard were still alive only by the merest accident. There were 3 reasons why that cat had fought and killed the world's deadliest snake. And those 3 reasons came tottering out from under the stove on shaky little legs. 3 kittens with their eyes bright with wonder and their tails stiff as pokers. Up on the decks, hundreds of passengers were waiting for the news that the days and nights of terror were ended. They could wait a little longer. I pulled open the doors of the cabinet, found a can of milk. Then I dropped down on my knees on the floor of the galley.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, and tonight brought to you A Shipment of Mute Fate by Martin Storm, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, featuring Harry Bartell as Chris Warner, Barry Kroger as Captain Wood, and Peggy Weber as Mother Willis, with Don Diamond, Sarah Selby, and Frank Gerstle. Special effects by David Light. The musical score was conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week,
you are hanging by your fingertip on the sheer face of an ice cliff, suspended 2,000 feet above instant death, with your strength running out, and with no chance for escape.
Montague's exciting story, Action. Good night, then, until the same time next week, when CBS again offers you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired from a strenuous weekend? Spring fever give you the wanderlust? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
You are hanging by your fingertips on the sheer face of an ice cliff, suspended 1,000 feet above instant death, with your strength running out, and with no chance for escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the cold loneliness of a glacier high in the Swiss Alps, and to a man who learned much about death, as told in C.E. Montague's grim story, Action. High in the Swiss Alps, well above 12,000 feet, a man clings with desperation to the frozen glass wall of the Chaliot Glacier, hands and feet jammed into shallow steps chopped in iron-hard ice. A cold wind drives a spray of dusty sleet along the overhanging wall, and the sun has fallen away among the crags to the west. Darkness lies 1 hour ahead. The man has climbed with painful care 1,000 feet up the glacier's face from the broken moraine at the foot, and is moved now onto the underside of a great bulge in the ice, a part of the wall which breaks out beyond the perpendicular, and the man is forced to hang from slots cut by his axe much as a sloth hangs from a tree branch. 12 more feet lie between him and the brow of the overhang. 6 more steps to be chopped out with the axe, and 1,000 feet of void space waits beneath him. The man is unable to lift his heavy axe for even one more stroke. He's tired, and he's 52 years old. No experienced mountaineer would ever attempt the west face of the Chaliot Glacier. And yet this man is an experienced mountaineer. But why? Why? What strange events have conspired to bring him along the path of his life and leave him hanging now in peril on the brink of eternity? Through what shadows has that path led him, and where are those who saw him pass? Can we ourselves move back along it, move back step by step against the river of time, move backward along the life path of Christopher Bell?
My name is Jean Valjour, and I am a guide for all the mountain trails on the Weisshorn and the Chaliorn. I talked with Mr. Bell this morning as he was leaving the village, though, of course, at the time I did not know that was his name. The season is over, you understand. Winter will come in another week or two, and most all the visitors are gone. So you see, I was very surprised to hear a stranger call out to me in English.
Hello there.
Bonjour, monsieur. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Well, I'm glad to see there's at least one other early riser in the village besides myself.
Only a few people are left in the village, sir. It is the end of summer.
The end of summer. How well I know it. Oh, by the way, which of these paths takes me to the foot of the Chaliot?
The one on the left. But you will find no climbing there, sir. One arrives very soon at the glacier and can go no farther.
Except, of course, to climb up it.
The glacier? That is impossible. It has never been done.
Of course not. It's never been tried.
Well, there is not anyone who would be so foolish.
Oh, it isn't that. There are plenty of foolish people in the world. But even they hold on to their margin of safety.
Margin of safety?
Yes. The difference between the point where a man thinks he's reached his limit and the point where the limit really is.
Que diable racontez-vous? I mean, I'm afraid I do not understand this.
Oh, all right. Well, take a mountaineer, such as yourself. Now, you look at a slope. You estimate the effort needed to climb it. Then you estimate your own endurance. And if there isn't a good-sized safety factor, you just don't make the climb.
But it would be foolish not to do so.
Oh, yes, I dare say. It's all tied up in the fear of death. Take that out of a man for one instant, and there's no telling what he might be able to do, or what limit he might reach.
And how should a man lose that fear?
He can't. He can't lose it. Has to be done for him by things outside.
He turned and left me then, this Mr. Bell. Walked up the path toward the glacier. That was early this morning, and I did not see him again. His talk with me made no sense, and I could not understand what he meant to do or why he was going to do it. I remember thinking, what a strange man. But I know really nothing more about him. I believe he arrived in the village only last night and took a room in the Zinal Inn.
My name is Greta de Gaspar, and I'm staying out the week here in Zinal to close up the inn for the winter. I have known Mr. Bell for the last 30 years. Always before, he came in the summer season for the climbing, and I was most surprised when he arrived last night. I opened one of the rooms and found something for him to eat, and then later we sat and talked in front of the fire in a big empty lounge.
This is very good coffee, Madame Gaspar.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bell. Had you let me know, I would have had everything ready for you, just like all the other times.
Like all other times, eh? Now, this one's a little different, Madame Gaspar. You might call it a special visit.
It is all so different now from the old days. Then it was you and your madame would come here, and it was Gaspar and I. And the summer seemed to last forever.
I thought everything would be forever when she was alive. Now I'm really alone in the world.
As I am. And it is not good to be alone. It gives one little reason for living, and makes one no longer afraid of dying.
Yes, but there are stronger reasons for that than just being alone.
Mr. Bell, you look so strange. Is there something troubling you?
Why, no. Not now. Oh, there may have been, but not now. Well, I should be leaving quite early in the morning for a climb, so I think I'll go on to bed. Good night, Madame Gaspar.
Mr. Gaspar, I left the inn this morning before I wakened, and I have not seen him again. I have never known him to act so strange before. I have no idea what the reason is, or what he may be planning to do. But I'm sure something is troubling him. Perhaps it may be something connected with his business back in London.
My name is Matthew Bruff. I've been chief clerk in Mr. Bell's London office over the past 25 years. I've always found him to be a considerate and dependable employer. I've never noticed anything you might call unusual about him until one day about 3 weeks ago. Mr. Bell entered the establishment a bit late, as I recall, and passed immediately into his own office without acknowledging my customary greeting. A little while afterward, he sent for me.
Well, Matthew, where do we go from here?
I can't say that I follow you, Mr. Bell.
Well, I mean, the company's on a steady footing, so if we use our heads at all, we don't stand much chance of losing anything.
Our position is quite secure.
On the other hand, we can't expect to do any more growing. We're through expanding. From now on, it's just a matter of operation.
A most enviable condition, sir.
Is it? There's nothing more to look forward to, nothing more to work for. So, as I said, where do we go from here? Matthew, I'm putting you in charge of the business, turning it over to you, effective this week.
Mr. Bell, you can't possibly mean that.
Oh, yes. I've just decided.
But what are you going to do?
I'm taking a trip I'm going to Switzerland. Climb a mountain.
Oh? Oh, well, then at least it's only temporary, just for whatever time you're gone.
That's right. It's for whatever time I'm gone. Just for whatever time I'm gone.
Before the end of the week, he had arranged all the necessary papers and had left London. I haven't heard a word from him since, though I presume he's somewhere in Switzerland. Actually, however, I haven't the faintest idea where Mr. Bell may be right at this moment.
Minutes pass on the glacier, and the shadows grow longer from the jagged peaks to the west of the Shaliok Glacier, and reach out with dark fingers toward the man who clings to the icy wall, while his pounding heart beats out the number of his time on Earth. Already those shadows have flowed into the awful depths below his swaying figure, blurring the sharp points of the tumbled rocks 1,000 feet down, and making the harsh void seem soft and inviting. The man's thoughts have grown as unwieldy as the heavy ice axe gripped in his hand. He keeps trying to remember that he is Christopher Bell, a human being, and not a part of this free and empty space. For he knows if he stops remembering that, he may forget all else too, and then let go.
There's been no reason for trying to locate Mr. Bell, since nothing of any importance has occurred during these 3 weeks. I'm sure he's quite all right. Only, one thing still puzzles me a bit. The remarkable change in him on that morning 3 weeks ago. I never heard him talk like that before. And whatever the reason for it, I'm quite sure it was something that happened that morning before he came to the office.
My name is John Huxford, and I've been a conductor on the Westminster route for some 14 years now. And during all that time, Mr. Bell has been a daily passenger of mine on the early morning inbound run. As I recall it, the first time anything you might say out of the way ever happened between us was one morning about 3 weeks ago. I saw Mr. Bell waiting at the usual place, so I signalled to the driver to stop. Oh, good morning, Mr. Bell.
Good morning. I'll be right there.
Here now, let me come down and help you, sir.
I'll make it. If you just take my arm, Mr. Huxford. My arm, please.
But I have taken your arm, Mr. Bell.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Up we go now. There you are, sir.
Thank you. I had a bit of a shock this morning. I'm all right now.
Well, if it's all right now, that's fine, I say. Now, take hold of the strap there now.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, let me see. I have the fare here somewhere. Oh, yes, here you are.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you. I'm afraid you brought something home to mind.
I don't understand what you mean, sir.
Well, Mr. Huxford, have you ever had anyone take your arm and help you up a flight of steps?
No, and I might say that I hope the day never comes when I... well... I'm sorry, sir.
Not at all. Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Thank you very much.
I don't rightly know what was wrong with him, though it's certain that something was. I haven't seen him for nearly 3 weeks now. I can't imagine what it might have been what happened to him that morning before he got on the bus.
My name is Jenkins. I've been Mr. Bell's personal valet for the past 12 years and 7 months. The master's travelling somewhere on the continent just at present. Been gone something over 2 weeks now. Decided rather suddenly, I believe. In fact, I rather think something happened one morning about 3 weeks ago that caused him to make up his mind. I really haven't the faintest idea what it might have been. I can remember noticing a very strange look on his face when he came down to breakfast that morning, but thought nothing of it at the time.
Good morning, Jenkins.
Good morning, sir. I trust you had a pleasant night's rest.
Yes, I did, thanks, Jenkins.
Having the usual orange juice, toast and tea?
No, I want nothing except some coffee.
Very well, sir. I'll bring it right away.
I can't let him find out. I can't let anyone find out about it. Maybe it's a little better now. Maybe it's going away. Maybe I'm giving it too much importance, but... No, it's still there. That same lack of feeling clear down the whole right side of my body. There, I can move my arm and leg all right. There's no feeling in them. They're numb. It's simply that at 52 years of age, I've had a light stroke.
Your coffee, sir.
Oh, thank you, Jenkins.
Would you care for something more, sir?
No, that's all.
If you'll pardon me, sir, you don't seem quite yourself this morning. I do hope you're not ill.
No. I'm all right, Jenkins.
I hope you won't mind my saying this, Mr. Bell, but you don't take very good care of yourself anymore.
Oh, please.
It's been years now since you had a check-up, not since the mistress passed away, in fact.
I'm quite all right, Jenkins. I'm quite all right.
Yes, sir. I'm relieved to hear it, sir. I'll bring your paper now, sir.
Good Lord. Is this what a man slaves his life away for? To end up helpless, dependent on others? To be wheeled about, put out in the sun, taken in like some great fat lava? That's disgusting.
Pardon me, sir. I didn't quite hear you.
Oh, nothing, Jenkins.
Here's your paper, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Please call if you need anything else, sir. I'll be in the pantry.
I couldn't go on that way. I'd rather not go on. I've got to face it. This stroke is the first warning. There'll be others, worse ones. And in a short time, I'll be helpless. There must be some way out. Not suicide, but some way. There's got to be some way.
The icy wall hardens into cold, vitreous steel as the dust-born shadows chill its surface. The merciless ice is beginning to freeze the cramped joints of the man's fingers now, and the heavy axe swings idly at his belt, tracing a fumbling pattern on the thin air of the void. How much longer can he cling to those slots in the glacier's face? How much longer does he have to live? 30 seconds? A minute? What's the margin of safety now? And what does a man think of while his pulse beats slower and he waits to die?
Strange how I'm able to go on, hanging to this slope, clinging on to life. And I can't feel another ounce of strength left in me. Strange, too, how it seems I could stay here forever, becoming part of the glacier itself, looking down at the rocks below and out across the peaks and the ice. I was right. Dying isn't so bad, really. Not when it's like this. Rather pleasant, in fact. It looks so soft down there. The shadows and the snow. And the wind. Perhaps I could let go. Float out on the wind like an eagle. Or be blown along by it like drifting snow. Well, the sun's gone now. It will be full dark in a few minutes. Maybe I can hold on that long. But everything is dark. Even the snow and the ice. And who knows? Perhaps I'll watch the sunrise tomorrow and set again. And even beyond. Oh, no. I can't last even one full minute longer. I'm through. I'm finished. I can't even last a half. Huh? Chips of ice sliding over the edge. It's funny how a glacier sheds off that way. I suppose the difference in temperature between day and... Oh, wait. An ice axe. That was an axe. No other sound in the world like it. Fell from up above the overhang there. There must be somebody up there on the slope, coming down from the top. Hello! There he is. Wait, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello! That's a mountaineer's call for help. Someone's dropped his axe and he's in trouble up there. It's right above this bulge. If I can only... No, my throat's too dry. Well, 6 more steps to cut to reach the edge there. All right. 6 more steps. I was done in. I was finished. And now 5 more steps. Good Lord, it's a woman, and there's a man upon the slope. Hold on up there.
What?
I'll be with you in a minute.
Ted, somebody's coming. There's someone down here.
Over the edge. Take it easy there. Everything's going to be all right.
For God's sake, heaven. I don't know where you came from, but thank heaven you're here.
Yeah, easy now. Let's get a step out for your feet. I'm just below the overhang there. I heard the fellow up above call out. He's got quite a voice on him.
It's my husband. Please hurry.
Easy now. I'll step out here in a second. You can put your feet on it. You get your breath. Then we'll tackle the slope.
All right.
There now. I'll scrape this ice away. Easy now. There. Oh, that's better, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you're all right now. Just lean there. When you feel like it, we'll go on up. Oh, my name is Christopher Bell, by the way.
I'm Anna Gerland.
How do you do?
Thank you. I thought we were done. I was cutting steps down ahead on the slope, and I slipped and dropped my axe. The rope held me, but neither of us dared to move.
Oh, yes. Well, you're all right now. As soon as you rest up a minute, we'll cut some more steps back up the slope. Oh, you should have started down this way. You've never been able to pass that bulge.
Yes, I can see that now. Of course, it's harder to tell when you're moving down the slope.
Yes, I suppose it is.
You were coming up the slope, weren't you?
Yes, I came up from the foot.
Alone and without a rope. And you deliberately climb onto the underside of an overhanging wall.
Well, let's just say we're both foolhardy.
Is that what you call it?
If you've got your breath back now, suppose we start up the slope. Oh, here. I'd like to take my axe and cut the first step.
You trust me with it? After I dropped my own?
Oh, anybody could make a mistake like that, dropping an axe. Or climbing up under an overhang.
My name is Theodore Gerland, and I'm the husband of the woman who slipped and fell on the wall of the glacier. I'm a physician, formerly of Harley Street, London, though I've practiced in Paris for several years now. I met Mr. Bell when he and my wife reached the ice ledge where I stood waiting above them. I was not immediately aware of his trouble, but found out about it a short time later when we reached the rest hut at the top of the ridge. While my wife heated water for tea at the far side of the room, Bell and I fell into a much more personal conversation than strangers normally do. But this sometimes happens when people have been very close to death.
At any rate, Dr. Gerland, you can see how it is. The life of an invalid doesn't seem very appealing.
Tell me something, Mr. Bell. I gather you were pretty well done in when I called out there on the glacier. You couldn't lift a hand. Then how do you account for being able to chop 6 steps into that ice in a matter of some 5 minutes?
I don't know exactly. I was through. I couldn't have lasted 30 seconds more. But when I realized someone was in danger, I don't know, I forgot about it.
And this numbness, this lack of feeling in your right side, it didn't bother you?
No, I didn't notice. It isn't quite so bad now, as a matter of fact.
And there's your answer, Mr. Bell.
I don't believe I follow you.
Action. When you were in action, working because you had a reason, living because you had to, because somebody was depending on you, then you were all right. Everything was back in its place again.
Oh, perhaps, but a man can't spend all his time climbing up a mountain to save someone's life.
Oh, I don't mean physical action, movement. Call it incentive, if you like. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Incentive, eh?
That's right. It's the one top pressure that keeps life moving and growing. And it's what you need.
Well, it's an interesting theory, Doctor.
But it's only a theory, eh?
I'll have the tea ready in a moment. Is anybody interested?
I am, my dear. Lucky we brought it.
If no one minds, I believe I'll have a turn outside while we're waiting.
Of course not. Only be careful out there in the dark. The ridge breaks off pretty sharply here.
Oh, yes, I'll be careful. Oh, Dr. Gerland.
Yes?
If things were turned around, I wonder if it would be any more than just a theory to you.
Mr. Bell, where are you?
I'm over here, Mrs. Gerland.
Beautiful, isn't it? With the stars so clear and bright.
Yes. Well, there won't be any more clear nights before the winter storms.
It would be a shame to give it up, you and I.
What do you mean?
I've got to say this quickly, because I don't want my husband to know. We're not the kind who commit suicide, you and I. But I think we understand each other.
Well, you'll have to say more than that.
You deliberately climbed into a dead end out on that glacier. Deliberately extended your safety margin beyond all possible limits, didn't you?
What do you mean, we understand each other?
Because I did the same thing. I went ahead. I picked that route down the slope.
But
No, please wait. In 30 seconds, I would have cut myself loose from that rope. Oh, we went to an awful lot of trouble so we wouldn't have to call it suicide, didn't we?
You? But why?
I have a brain condition. There's no point in going into it, but it's incurable. And sooner or later, at any moment, I shall go blind.
Oh, no.
My husband doesn't know about it, and I don't want him to. Mr. Bell.
Yes?
I'll make a bargain with you.
What sort of bargain?
I'm not brave, really. To go on living, I need something to cling to. I need to know all the time that there's someone else with courage, too. Mr. Bell, I'll go on living if you will.
I'd say you're amazingly brave.
If I were, I could do it alone, without having to make myself dependent on you and your courage.
But that sort of thing could work both ways. I wouldn't dare let you down.
Nor could I you. Do you want to make the bargain? Shall we go on living, Mr. Bell?
As I said before, I am Dr. Theodore Dolan, and I met Mr. Bell some 3 hours ago on the Shaliok Glacier. At the moment, he's outside the hut a few yards away talking to my wife. I can hear the sound of their voices, but I can't make out the words. However, I know what they're talking about, what his answer will be. My wife and I discussed that before she went out to join him. You may have heard of my wife, incidentally, though it would likely have been under the stage name she uses in the Paris theater. You see, she's quite a talented actress.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, and tonight brought you Action by C.E. Montague, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, and featuring Joseph Kearns as Christopher Bell and Eric Rolfe as the voice, with Louis Van Rooten as Dr. Golan, Marta Mitrovich as Greta, Jeff Corey as Bruff, Ray Lawrence as Huxford, Barry Kroger as Jenkins, and Joan Banks as Mrs. Golan. The musical score was conceived and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week.
You are in mid-ocean, aboard a Jinx ship. Already 3 men have died, and you know that some malignant force is aimed at you. And you cannot escape.
Next week, Escape with Joseph Conrad's great story, The Brute. Good night, then, until the same time next week, when we again offer you Escape. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Getting impatient for baseball season to start? Have a touch of spring fever? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
You are in mid-ocean, aboard a Jinx ship. Already 9 men have died, and you know that some malignant force is aimed at you,
from which you cannot escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the North Atlantic in the year 1900, and to a sailing ship whose very name struck dread in sailors' hearts, as Joseph Conrad told it in his famous story, The Brute.
Tell it just by looking at her, proud and strong and beautiful on the outside. You couldn't see the black heart inside of her, and you'd never know she'd killed at least a dozen men and maybe more. But I knew her for the murdering she-devil she was. I saw her the day she killed her first one, and I was there too when she finally made a big mistake and killed the wrong person. But that was a long time later. Well, she had a name all right. But after that first day, her first killing, nobody but the family ever used it again. Everyone else from that day on would look at her, half afraid and half snarling, and they called her the Brute. I remember I was 14 the day my father took me down to the South Thames boatyard to watch the launching of the ship. My brother Charlie was there, of course, 8 years older than me and very proud of his one gold stripe, now that he'd been made an officer on the Apps line. Charlie and Father were talking. I just stood and listened to them and didn't say much of anything myself.
Look at her, Dad. Ever see a ship in your life with lines like that? I bet she'll outsail any clipper in the China trade.
Well, that remains to be seen, Charlie. How soon are they going to launch her?
Any minute now. Oh, I'd give a lot to be sailing on her, instead of on the Malcolm Apps.
Well, the Malcolm's a good ship, son. As good a ship as any the Apps family owns.
No, I'm not kicking. I'm glad enough to be through apprenticeship and get my commission. But even at that, I'd almost rather be a bosun on this ship than third mate on the Malcolm.
I understand that Colchester's to be her captain.
Yes, that's right. Oldest commander with the Apps and Sons line. Look at the size of her, Dad. She's a full 2,000 tons.
Less half a ton, Charlie. Oh, good morning, Mr. Jermyn.
Mr. Wilmot. Hello, Ned.
How do you do, sir?
No, Charlie, she came to 1,999 and a half when we measured the rope.
Well, 2,000 tons or not, Mr. Jermyn. You'll never build a better ship than this one.
I don't know, Charlie. I built her the way Mr. Ops once did. She's big and she's stout, but I don't know.
And what's your reason for saying that, son?
No reason that makes any sense. About the devil's own time with her. Cabin doors jamming when they shouldn't. Edge covers that wouldn't fit after they'd been measured up. Blocks fouling for no reason at all. I don't know, Mr. Wilmot. But if she were a human being, I'd say that maybe she's insane.
Oh, come now. You've been working too hard, Mr. Jermyn. Better take a vacation now that she's finished.
Well, I could certainly use...
I say, that's Maggie Colchester up there, the captain's niece. Is she going to do the christening?
That's right, Charlie. And I'd better get down below now. My own men are going to knock the stays loose and let her slide down into the water.
Well, good luck, Mr. Jermyn.
Thanks, Mr. Wilmot. Come on board for the celebration after she's launched. Bring the boy.
Fine, thank you. We shall be there.
They'll let it go any minute now. Dad, I'm going to sail on that ship someday.
Oh, you'll probably sail on a lot of Apps line ships before you're through, Charlie.
Look, they're giving Maggie the champagne now, and she's going to christen it.
Yes, listen.
I christen the Apps family.
The Apps family. So that's what they're naming it, eh?
All right, Pete. No out the stairs. Let her go.
Look, Dad, she's starting to move. There she goes.
Yes, well, look at that speed. I never saw it.
Jermyn, look out! Good Lord, he fell right into the waves and she went over him.
He didn't fall. The timber rolled off the deck and knocked him under.
She slid right over him. Mr. Jermyn, the man who built her.
Launched in blood, if that means anything. She's a brute and a murderess now, Charlie. Still think you'd like to sail on her?
It was an accident. It doesn't mean anything.
Perhaps not.
I'll sail on her someday, sooner or later. I will sail on her.
way things worked out, I was the one to sail on her first instead of Charlie. He'd gone on out to the Orient aboard the Malcolm. And 6 months later, when I started my apprenticeship, I found the company had assigned me to report to Captain Colchester on the Apps family, or the Brute, as everybody was calling it privately. Some kind of mix-up in the sailing orders, and by the time I came on board, the tug already had a line on the big sailing ship and was starting to ease her stern first out into the channel.
All right, now. Ease ahead there. Pick up the slack.
Captain Colchester was at the taffrail shouting orders to the tug captain, and the mates were forward somewhere, handling the check line.
You've got the slack now. Haul away.
I stood at the waist, waiting for a chance to report in, and watching a young fellow about my own age, who was doing something or other up aloft on the mizzenmast above me. The tug had drawn the line out taut, but the ship hadn't started to move yet.
You've got no way on her yet. Turn your engine up to full speed.
The tug was churning the water to froth, and the hawser was tight as a bowstring, but we still didn't move.
Keep that up. Hold that on full throttle.
Then suddenly the ship gave a lurch and started back like a bucking horse. The men forward had no chance to ease the check cable, and a second later it snapped. The ship plunged on back and then sheered over, something up with a smash against the pierhead that knocked me sprawling on the deck. And at that moment, the lad who'd been working aloft on the mast crashed down onto the deck not 10 feet away from me. And he lay there without moving.
Give a hand up here on my waist, mate. Young Hawkins just fell out of the tops. That's too bad.
Is he dead, Captain Colchester?
He's dead, boy. You get a hold of yourself. Don't stand there trembling. You never seen anybody die before?
Yes, sir. On the day they launched this ship.
Ah, Jermaine, eh? You're a young Ned Wilmot, I suppose, the new apprentice.
Yes, sir.
And no doubt you may have heard the ship called by an unpleasant name once in a while.
Yes, sir. The Brute.
Well, you'll be kind enough to remember while you're aboard that her name is the Apps family, and she's had her share of accidents, the same as any other ship. Is that quite clear?
Yes, sir.
And get along forward with you and stow your gear away on the forecastle. You'll take over young Hawkins' duties for the time being.
Yes, sir. I sailed aboard the Brute for the next 4 years and watched her kill 9 men during the time. We got so we'd try to outguess her, try to figure out how she'd do it the next time. But no matter what we think, we never were right. And it wasn't only the killing, it was everything. Most ships have little ways all their own, and you'll learn about them and allow for them. But not her. She was like a crazy woman. You never knew what she'd do next. I remember once off the Gold Coast, she ran before a gale for 2 days as pretty as you please. And then broached to twice the same afternoon. Flung the helmsman clean over the wheel the first time, and the second time swamped herself fore and aft and split out every stitch of canvas. And after we got the decks cleaned up, we found 1 seaman had gone overboard. He was her 5th, I guess it was. Or maybe the 6th. Oh, she was beautiful, the Apps family was. Big and proud and beautiful. And along with it, killer. Black-hearted, sea-going Brute. My brother Charlie was on the China run all that time. First on the Malcolm and later on the Lucy Apps. But we never happened to hit port at the same time. Finally, the time of my apprenticeship was up. We boomed into London at the end of the trip, and I went before the board for my papers. I guess they figured anybody who could stay alive for 4 years on the Brute must be a seaman. Anyway, I passed, and Mr. Apps handed me my sailing orders along with the commission. I was assigned as 3rd mate to Captain Colchester on the Apps family.
Well, congratulations, Ned. Glad you're going to stay with us.
Thanks, Captain Colchester.
You've been a hard-working apprentice, and I've no doubt but you'll be a good officer. In fact, we have a man on board who'll make sure of that.
Why? What do you mean, Captain?
Got a new 1st mate on this trip. Come in, Charlie.
Charlie?
Well, hello there, youngster. I say, you've been doing a bit of growing the last 5 years.
Charlie, I didn't even know you were in port.
Been in for a week down country, though. I hear you fooled the board.
Careful, man. You're talking about your own third mate.
Yes, so they tell me. And you'll be traveling lively on this trip, my boy.
Easy. Don't forget, I know this ship and you don't.
And I'll learn it quick enough. Been wanting the chance for a long time. And between us, I think we can even break this jinx.
Lads, there'll be no talk of a jinx on this trip. At least not in the cabin as long as Maggie's going along. Maggie? Who's Maggie? Ask your brother. I think he's the one who talked her into the trip. Though she claims it's for her health. I'll leave you two to get acquainted. We'll be about 10 days loading if you've got any plans.
What's he talking about, Charlie? Who's Maggie? His niece, Maggie Colchester. You remember her, the girl who christened the ship?
Oh, of course. Only,
hasn't Dad told you where I've been spending shore leaves for the last year and a half?
No, Charlie, I didn't know anything about it.
Well, then let me show you something. Here. Now, if I have my way, Maggie'll be wearing this before the trip's over. Here, take a look.
Blimey, that's all right.
Yes, I bought it in Cape Town. It's a blue-white diamond set in platinum.
Is it big enough to go on a finger?
Oh, it's big enough, all right. And that's where it's going if I can talk her into it.
And who's going to talk who into what, Charlie?
Maggie, I was, saying that, I hoped I could talk you into going ashore for dinner with me.
Oh, where are you now? You big liar.
Oh, Maggie, this is my brother, Ned. Ned, this is Maggie.
How do you do? And are you one of the officers, too?
I'm the new third mate.
Well, I certainly hope you're more truthful than your brother.
Maggie.
Whose invitation to dinner I am accepting with pleasure.
Oh, really?
See you both later.
All right, you are. About an hour.
Charlie, she's lovely.
And she's more than that, Ned. She's everything as far as I'm concerned.
Well, in that case, good luck. I hope you get her.
Well, we'll see about that. Anyway, with Maggie aboard, we've got to make sure this jinx ship stays on good behavior for once.
It'll be the first time if she does.
Well, it's the first time we've had both the Wilmots on board together. We'll tame her down, Ned. We'll make her calm and peaceful as an old workhorse. Just you wait and see if we don't.
And the strange part of it was, he was right. We stood out past Gravesend and made the passage to the China coast in 121 days of the finest weather you could ever hope to meet. And for the first time in her bloody life, the old ship settled down and sailed herself as neat as you please. Charlie and I had talked about it sometimes when Maggie wasn't around. And he'd always laugh and say the brute knew when she'd met her match that she didn't dare try to buck the two of us. But I was more ready to give the credit to Maggie, to think maybe she'd charm the old murderess the way she charmed all the rest of us. From the second day out, Maggie was the secret darling of every man on board. She was all over the ship, here, there, and everywhere, with red tam and her bright blue eyes, never still a minute, and having the time of her life. If she'd come along for her health, she'd found it before we passed Gravesend. We raised a storm on the passage back and ran 4 days in a heavy gale. I stood by and held my breath, ready for anything, and nothing happened. The old lady, App's family, held up her head and sailed along like a seagull. Any time before, she'd have buried her gunwale in the quartering seas, but now, all the water she shipped you could put in a teacup. 109 days from Hong Kong, we raised the Dungeness Light, and early the next morning picked up a tug off Sheerness for the long tow upriver to London. The ship followed along on the tow line like a puppy on a leash, and we moved slowly up the river past Gravesend. All of us were glad to be home, but Maggie most of all, I think, because she'd never been at sea so long before. I had to smile at the way she danced around in the bows, picking out one landmark after another as we came to them, but sometimes standing up on the spare anchor we'd taken in.
What's wrong, Ned? That tug stopped her engines.
Collision up ahead in the channel, Charlie. Looks like a yawl and a schooner fouled together.
Oh, yes. Well, looks like they're clearing it up now. Guess we can move again in a couple of minutes. Maggie, why don't you go on the afterdeck? You're on the way up forward there.
Oh, I'm all right, Charlie. Stop worrying. We're almost home.
Better save your orders for the crew, Charlie. She outranks you.
Oh, I'll take orders from her any day. Yes. We are almost home, Ned. We've had a lucky voyage.
It's the first halfway peaceful trip I've ever made in the old brute.
Oh, I told you we'd tame her down. She's turned over a new leaf, Ned.
Well, it won't last long if she keeps on sheering off there and drifting back down the channel.
Huh? Oh, yes. And we're heading straight for those fishing smacks.
Better have the tug start up and hold a taut line on her. I've seen her do this before.
Yes.
Ahoy the tug! Take up the slack and get her straight in the channel. Hold it against the current.
Any other ship would have held steady for the 2 or 3 minutes we stopped, but not the old Epps family. And now when the tug tightened up in the hawser, pulling at an angle across her bows, she wouldn't respond, wouldn't budge. The old girl wanted her own way. She was just as stubborn as ever.
Ahoy the tug! We're still drifting. Up and up to full speed.
Confound her. Never saw a ship act like this.
The heavy hawser was pulled so tight it was humming, and Tug's paddles with her engines full whipped up the water like a mill race. And then it happened. The heavy towing chock tore loose from the deck. The hawser began sliding across the bow, ripping out rail stanchions like matchsticks. Then the hawser was going to sweep under the flukes of the spare anchor, the anchor that Maggie was standing on.
Maggie! Get off that anchor! Look out!
She tried to jump clear, but she was too late. The great anchor had tipped up on its side, clasped her about the waist like a monstrous arm of steel. It had carried her with it, and swung down and over and smashed against the side of the ship.
She went into the water. Take charge of the deck, Ned. I'm going in after her. Ned, was that Maggie?
Yes, sir. She's overboard, Captain Colchester.
Maggie. Oh, the dirty, murdering brute. Now it's women she's killing. Let go the port anchor! Hold the ship in the ears and get the boats over!
I hadn't told Charlie, and I didn't say anything about it to Captain Colchester. But I stood there, and I knew it wasn't any use. Because I'd seen the way the heavy anchor had carried her over, and then swung in to smash her against the bow before it dropped her into the water. And I'd seen the way that water beneath the bow was all colored red. They found her at late afternoon when the tide turned, and she floated clear of one of the mooring buoys. And the next morning, we tied up in the London docks. The men had been happy at coming into their home port, but now they remembered how she'd been happy too, their own darling. I'd never before seen a crew leave a ship so quietly, and some of them, when they reached the wharf, turned back and cursed her under their breath. Finally, it was only Charlie and I, alone on the quarterdeck, and Captain Colchester was below somewhere in the cabin.
She never wore it, Ned. The ring. She never wore it.
But she would have, Charlie. I know she meant to. She was just having a little fun with you, that's all.
With all of us on board, why did the brute have to go for Maggie? Why?
I guess there's not much answer for that.
She was everything I wanted. Everything.
Yes, Charlie. I know.
I talked her into making the voyage. It was my idea.
It's no good, Charlie, this kind of thinking. I guess you know that.
I don't know. She's everything I wanted.
Charlie,
Over, Stewart.
Over here, Captain.
I'm going ashore. The shipkeeper's come aboard now. The two of you are free to go whenever you like.
Thank you, sir.
Charlie, nothing. I'm resigning command in the morning. I'll never set foot on board her again as long as I live.
I feel the same way, sir.
Well, come into the company office in a day or two and sign out for the log. Good day, gentlemen.
Charlie, we'd better go ashore, too. We're done here.
Yes, I suppose we are.
I'll arrange to have our gear picked up later. There's no use of... Captain, look out! Missed him! But
yardarm off the mainmast. Fell right behind him.
Ah, you missed me, you murdering brute! And that was your last chance, go!
Ned, that yard was made fast at Dungeness. And now it falls out of the tops with the ship lying still at the wharf.
Yes, Charlie. Come on, let's go ashore.
Wasn't the devil satisfied for one trip? Is there no way of stopping her? How many more does she want to kill?
Charlie?
Oh, Ned. Ned, take me home.
Charlie was 10 years older by the time we reached home, and it was 2 weeks before he'd do anything more than sit in his room and stare at the wall, saying nothing. Captain Colchester carried out his threat and resigned from the company the morning after we docked, and I filed my application for a transfer. The Apps family was reloaded and ready to sail, but she stayed on lying at the wharf with nobody to take her out. And that's the way things stood for 2 weeks, until one morning a bombshell dropped.
Hello, Ned.
Charlie, I wondered where you went this morning.
Well, I left the house early.
How do you feel?
Fine. Ned, Mr. Apps tells me you've applied for a transfer. Another ship.
Well, yes, I did, as a matter of fact. You saw Man Apps?
Yes, I stopped in at the office this morning. Ned, it's up to you, of course, but I hope you'll change your mind.
Not a chance.
The ship sails tomorrow morning.
Oh, so they finally found somebody crazy enough to take her out?
Yes, they did. Me.
You? You're going to skip with the Brute?
That's right, Ned.
But I
it's
thought...
a short voyage, North Atlantic run. Be awfully glad to have you along. Somebody I could depend on if you feel like signing on again.
Charlie!
Of course, it's up to you.
All right, Charlie. I'll sign on again. Be glad to. We boomed out past the Sheerness Light and headed north, hugging a lee shore in the stiff breeze. The ship drove ahead as steady as a barge, with scarcely a roll or a quiver. But in spite of the smooth and easy way she handled, I couldn't help feeling uneasy. I could sense the black spirit of her brooding somewhere down inside, mocking and taunting us with her bloody memories, and waiting for a new chance. By nightfall, we were running hard in along the Kettling coast, where those rocky headlands break at intervals out of the shelving sandy beaches. The onshore wind held steady in our quarter, and the sun sank down behind the land some 3 miles away. It wasn't quite full dark yet when Charlie sent for me. I came up to where he was standing alone near the wheel.
That you, Ned?
Right, Charlie. Wilson said you wanted to see me.
Yes. I did send for you, Ned. Try to steady as she goes, close the wind.
Aye, sir.
I've been standing here, thinking about Maggie, Ned. How she scrambled around over the decks, making friends with everybody, having the time of her life.
Charlie, you've got to stop it.
No, I'm all right. I like to think about her.
It's this ship and all the memories around it. It's what I was afraid of.
No, it's all right. Ned, I want you to take charge of the crew and give an order. Of course, you'll question the order, but you'll carry it out anyway. Do you understand?
What's the order, Charlie?
Have all hands prepare to abandon ship.
What? But why? There's nothing wrong.
Mr. Wilmot, it is not an officer's place to question an order by the captain. There's your turn.
Yes, sir.
You can give the order now, Mr. Wilmot.
Charlie, I can't let you... Very well, Captain. All hands on deck! Stand by the boats! Prepare to abandon ship!
All right, helmsman. Find your place in the boats. I'll take over the wheel.
Aye, sir.
You don't know what you're doing, Charlie. We're in no danger. There's no reason to abandon ship.
You're always in danger aboard this black-hearted brute. I'll put on the quarter now. You can get the boats in the water when she yields. Hurry on.
Steady! Going on the quarter!
Easy on. All right. Now.
All hands! Lower! Boat!
We shouldn't have any trouble running ashore to that beach there at the south.
Hey, what about you?
I'll hold her steady until everybody's clear. You'd better go over the side. Your boat's standing there.
Oh, no, not until you do. I'm staying with you, Charlie.
Don't be a fool, Ned. I'm doing this alone.
No, Charlie, not while I'm here.
Mr. Wilmot, you will abandon ship and take charge of the boats in the water, and that's an order.
Charlie, I can't...
Mr. Wilmot!
Very well, Captain.
That's the spirit, lad. Learn to obey orders and step lively. You'll be a seaman yet. Good luck, Ned.
Thanks, Charlie. Stand by for you in the boat.
Of course, lad. Fine. Bye.
I slipped over the gunwale and dropped down into the boat that trailed alongside on a line from the rail. I'd hardly hit the bottom when the line slackened. I knew Charlie had cut us loose from the ship. He was alone on an hour, alone in the night sea, with a black brute.
Look, sir, look. He's laid it over, away from the wind.
Charlie put the helm over hard, with a terrible shudder of her dark sails and a smother of white foam from her bows. The great ship heeled about in a sharp turn and then began to drive ahead like some mad thing before the wind. Straight before the wind and straight toward the shore.
Look, sir, the rocks on the headland. She's going to smash herself.
Faster and faster she plunged ahead through the weltering seas. Faster and faster on the back of the gale, while the black-hearted spirit of her screamed in the ratlines.
Look, sir, the rocks. What in the name of heaven is he going to do?
And now, for one long instant, she hung poised at the top of a plunge and then drove smashing downward onto the rocks. We stood by, as close as we dared, for 3 hours, while the killer ship pounded herself to bits in the surging sea. But we didn't find my brother Charlie. And from the first minute, I knew we wouldn't. Because just before I'd left the ship, there by the helm, in the light of the binnacle lamp, I'd seen the thing he was holding, clenched tight in his hard brown fist. It was a tiny platinum ring, set with a blue-white diamond.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, and tonight brought you The Brute by Joseph Conrad, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, featuring Dan O'Herlihy as Ned Wilmot and Eric Rolfe as Charlie Wilmot, with Nina Carlton as Maggie, Jeff Corey as Captain Colchester, Wilms Herbert as German, and Parley Bear as the father. Music is conceived and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week.
You are far into the remote hill country of Afghan. Caught in an ambush by the fierce Papin tribes. Trapped in a hopeless fight from which there seems no escape.
Next week, we escape with Rudyard Kipling's gripping story, The Drums of the Fore and Aft. Good night, then, until the same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape.